Let's see if this works. Okay, come on. Twitter's working. Let's see if YouTube's working. And it is working. Alright, I will share the stream real quick. Just get it out. Do it like that. Just sharing it real quick. Just so that way I get more people watching. And there we go. Okay, let's see if anyone's in the chat right now. Hurricane Dave says, hey, hello. Okay, so thank you for joining. Now let's start the coverage on the storm. Hey, Mackenzie. And hello. Hi, Pittsburgh Steelers Summer Games. Okay, now let's talk about Erick here. We now have, unfortunately, a major hurricane approaching the coast of Oaxaca right now. It is currently officially, at least, a Category 4 hurricane. I personally don't agree with that estimate, but that's what the officials are going with at this time. Currently it's a Category 4 based on satellite estimates. Personally, again, I don't feel like it's that strong, and I'll explain why. But first, the officials are going with 145 miles an hour, or 125 knots. I personally think it's likely in the Category 3 range at this time, maybe mid-range to high-end Cat 3. And the reason being is going to be because of this banding right here. Can I not use my drawing tools? Dang, okay. Guess I can't. Sorry about that, guys. I figured something was wrong with my extensions. I'll see if I can do anything to fix that. Okay. Guess it won't allow me to draw, or the ad blocker won't work for whatever reason. But, anyways, you all can see my mouse, right? I just want to confirm with you all. Can you see my mouse moving across the screen? Because that's what I'll just use to point to things. Okay, good. So, as we saw earlier, this storm did intensify quite rapidly, and it also went what's called an eyewall replacement cycle, and I will show it to you all on here. Basically, the storm had two eye walls. This was yesterday evening towards the night. As you can see, this was its inner eye wall, and then it had an outer one that was developing at the time. So the storm underwent an eye wall replacement cycle, and that's why if I go to this, you'd be able to see that the eye was much smaller than it is now. Okay, here's where it first started developing its eye. It was a pinhole around 10 nautical miles wide, and as the eye wall replacement cycle finished, you can see that the eye is much larger now. In here, you can pretty much see it finishing at this stage right now. There's your inner eye wall, and then you have your clear outer eye wall. Now, the problem with this, though, is that while the next microwave image shows it completing its eye wall replacement cycle, what it also shows here, and yeah, my drawing tools won't work, is this band right here to the southwest. And we can clearly see that on this infrared satellite imagery right over here to the southwest. Now, this is very disruptive to the storm itself, mainly its eye wall. And this was a very strong band, and likely due to land interaction there. And we can see it on the microwave imagery, and it's deteriorating the southwest eye wall. And this was pretty far away, and this is when the band was moving away from the storm initially, but then now we have this even closer band that's starting to shred it. And it's not just it getting close to land, it's also this band that's tearing it apart, thankfully. So yes, the question is from Dave is, did it do an eyewall replacement cycle? Yes, it did. The problem though is, of course, it made it more vulnerable as it was undergoing that eyewall replacement cycle, and now these bands have been starting to shred it apart. So it's not just land that's weakening it; it's also the bands that are forming to the southwest. Unfortunately, though, the northeastern side is the strongest. That's going to be the side with the surge. It's just the southwest side that's been torn apart. So, now looking at the latest high-resolution imagery, we are likely around 2 hours or so away from landfall, it appears. And it might be even slightly longer than that, but 2 hours is our current estimate. It looks like it's been going slightly west of forecast, which will prolong the landfall timing. And in my opinion, that is quite good news because the storm is weakening now. And so the longer it has to weaken before hitting land, the better, in my opinion. But 2 hours, it's not going to weaken a whole lot. Even though we're seeing that the storm getting completely shredded, it will still hold on to likely major hurricane intensity before it makes landfall. Let's see. Yeah, Odin says, hopefully we will see a weakish landfall out of this. I'm hoping that maybe, like, even if it weakens dramatically, we can get towards Category 2 status at landfall. That would be that'd be the hope, or like what we're hoping for. Instead of it making landfall as this powerful major hurricane. But it does look like it will make landfall south of Santiago Pinotipa, over there. And it is roughly, I'll pull up how many kilometers away it is from land at this time. Now this is roughly 20 minutes ago, so this isn't the most up-to-date information, but just bear with me on this. So it is roughly around 30 to 50 kilometers away from its landfall, and it is roughly 80 kilometers away from the closest town or city. And going towards the downtown Oaxaca, it is roughly 180 kilometers away from there. And then Mexico City, it is roughly 440 kilometers away. They don't have to worry about much except for rainfall. As we can see, it will be a minimal tropical storm by the time it is reaching Guerrero. So your analysis is Cat 3. At this point, I do believe it has weakened. I'm not quite sure it has even peaked at Category 4 status. I'll pull up the latest National Hurricane Center discussion on the storm. So this was their special advisory. I'm not quite sure why they went this strong. It was only one forecaster. So it says this is a special advisory mainly to update the intensity of Erick. After an earlier eyewall replacement cycle, satellite images indicate very deep convection is wrapping around the eye of the hurricane using a blend of objective ADT Dvorak estimates and SATCOM values. This is pretty much just satellite estimates. Current intensity estimate of 125 knots, which is used for this advisory. Some additional strengthening is possible during the next couple hours, although the interaction with land should halt the intensification process. Erick will weaken rapidly after making landfall. So notice that they're using satellite estimates. They weren't using recon data. Which, I mean, of course, we don't have recon just yet. Okay. I'm not seeing any new recon data on the storm. I thought that there would be a mission going out by now. But so they're just using satellite estimates. And satellite estimates alone don't paint the full picture of the storm. Here's a look at its intensity. And you can see it on this, it clearly shows that it's skyrocketing up towards the Cat 4, almost to Cat 5 range. But it doesn't paint the full picture of the storm. Well, yes, it may look like it's getting more organized. I'll show it up on this imagery here. Well, in this imagery, it showed that around 0Z and then almost 03Z when they made the update, they showed it getting quite more organized here. And at the time, it looked like it was, oh, this is going to ramp up in intensity quickly. But that banding came out of, like, almost nowhere. And then, as you can see, it really shredded the storm apart. It had to face with the land interaction with the Mexican coast, as well as the band. And as you can see, that has quickly deteriorated the storm. Yeah, 125 knots is a bit of a stretch. At that point, they'll probably go lower on post analysis. I'm not even sure that this was a Category 4. It might have briefly peaked as a Category 4 right around 03Z before that banding started shredding it. That's probably the most likely scenario. Because, I mean, objectively, this does look quite strong based on satellite imagery if you were just shown this image alone. But of course the storm did start getting shredded after that, so but yeah, we can see though that there are some decent thunderstorms off to the eastern side of it. This would be the greatest tornado potential, and that is headed towards, I will pull that up now. Okay. Oh yeah, I know what to use. I'll just use this imagery right here. Oh, whoops, I thought it'd show infrared. Huh. Anyways, that thunderstorm is headed towards a Santiago Esteta. We're not really seeing much lightning activity in it, but yeah, you can clearly see off to the west of the storm. Here's the storm center, by the way. We can see that there is a lot of lightning activity, and that's of course just from the banding. You can play just the last hour alone, and you can just see how convectively active that is off to the west. Very strong thunderstorm. Thankfully, that is moving away from land, so it's not impacting anyone with flooding concerns or anything like that. It's really just good news because it's starting to shred the storm apart. We can see, though, that likely the eye wall is starting to come ashore in this latest imagery. But yeah, here you can clearly see the thunderstorm to the west compared to the actual center off to the east. But yeah, I mean, it does appear, though, that the... let's see, what does this do? Okay. It does appear, though, that the eye wall is starting to come ashore near Tutupik. Sorry about that. Somewhere there. Thankfully, though, it doesn't seem like there's much along the coast here. There are some areas that are going to be slammed with heavy surge. But fortunately, most areas are in higher ground. But this storm is going to be torn apart, of course, as it heads inland, just due to this mountainous terrain. And just taking a look at distance here. Oops, and we can clearly see how high of elevation the storm will have to go through. Almost a kilometer up. Or no, what is this? Oh yeah, almost a kilometer in the air. That's the mountains that they have to go through, and then even further inland, over 2 to 3 kilometers in elevation. So the storm will get torn apart. Initially, though, it doesn't look that bad over here. I wish it'd show more so elevation instead of distance here so I can see the actual distance here. But it doesn't look like it's going to be that high initially, but of course it is going to shred the storm apart. As we can see now, it is already weakening. Oh, hey Damien, how are you doing? Lewis says, apparently a small number of people have been trying to argue that Erick wasn't a major at all, according to Soham. Yeah, there could be an argument made that the storm wasn't a major hurricane. Personally, I do think it was. I mean, we have solid very solid microwave imagery on the storm, and also just even just satellite imagery. Um, looking at around looking at around 0Z, that time frame, and 03Z, when it likely reached its peak intensity. I mean, this was a pretty bona fide major hurricane, in my opinion, or at least hurricane. And its rate of intensification, if we extrapolate that, I'm not going to show this on screen, but this is personal estimates. It was likely around 75 knots at 12Z. 18Z was around 90 knots, and then extrapolating that, it was likely at least 105 knots by the time it reached 0Z. So it was likely not just barely major, it was kind of well into Category 3 status, and it's probably around 110, 115 knots at this stage. I feel like you can argue it wasn't a Category 4 hurricane, but I don't really see the argument that it wasn't a major hurricane. Damien says, could Erick do features or further intensification like a strong Cat 3? Well, the problem is the storm likely isn't intensifying anymore, it's actually weakening. It's mainly due to this band off towards the west, and also just due to the fact that it's interacting with the mountainous terrain in Mexico. So that's really what's starting to shred the storm apart. You just see how disorganized it looks now on satellite. You can't really even make out the eye. So this is going to make it more difficult to tell when landfall exactly will be. Earlier it was much easier telling it. And we can even look at Depaya's AI visible imagery here. Getting a look at its eye starting to get less organized here. I'll show this imagery. It's better in my opinion. Enhance imagery. I know that the water looks a little bit blue, but this should work.
I will say this,
Oh, hey,
HKs.
what's up?
When I'm looking at Erick's satellite imagery, band 7 right now on satellite imagery
Mm-hmm.
on the National Hurricane Center app shows that the eye wall has collapsed as of 7Z on the 19th.
Okay.
So we
Can you
are
send that
not
image
gonna
in?
for sure. Yeah, it's well, I don't know if I could save it as a GIF, but it's Goes 19 band 7 from No One Star.
Huh. Okay.
But it is showing that the eye is completely gone. So
Yeah.
we aren't going to know when landfall will
Yeah,
officially
that's the
occur.
issue.
But that means it is weakening for sure.
Yes. Oh yeah, here's a good look at. Oh yeah, I'll share my screen for you as well, just so that way you can see what I'm looking at.
All right.
Okay. Let me know if it's working, if you can see my screen.
Yep, got it.
Okay, good. So here's a look at some of the AI satellite imagery, AI visible imagery. And we can see though that the eye clearly got shredded apart as that secondary band came around off the western side. So it's going to be really difficult to see when landfall exactly is.
Yep, I can see that. Looking at the SWCH imagery, it's infrared sandwich composite, shows that yes, the eye is gone.
Yeah. So, I mean, what we were using to determine where the center of the storm is, we can't really tell anymore.
Yep, so the eye is the center of where that storm is, and since there's no visible eye now, we won't really know when that main circulation will make landfall. I guess it's just hard. That's harder to tell, but
Yeah, I mean, we can still kind of guesstimate when it happens.
yep, but we won't know for sure when the actual center where the eye
Mm-hmm.
was makes landfall.
Yes. Yeah, and people were asking, like, oh, could it strengthen further? And honestly, it doesn't. It is really just weakening at this point.
If to be honest, since it is already the outer, say the rain bands and the outer eye wall are actually already impacting Mexico, the
Yeah,
mountainous terrain will make it so this the eye will not reappear. It's basically just going to weaken right off the coast. It already reached peak intensity. I don't see any chance of this to re-intensify before landfall.
yeah. And of course, though, even though that there's not an a visible eye on satellite, there is likely an eye in the lower levels at the surface, and there is likely a powerful eye wall now impacting the coast of Mexico.
Could be seeing winds near 140, maybe less than that miles per hour.
Yeah, gusts of up to that easily, especially on
Easily,
mountainous
easily
terrain.
gusts. Yes, gusts are
Yeah.
easily up there for sure.
And of course,
The
the
latest.
eastern side is going to be the strongest, the northeastern side. And that's unfortunately the side with the surge. It's the side that wasn't really impacted by this band, so it is going to be the strongest side, strongest surge, especially some areas down here, Chacahua, that area. It's a clear shape of the coastline. It's able to get easily a high amount of surge.
The strength of Eric at the recent advisory, which was 12 a.m., is significantly similar to that of Hurricane Helene from last
Yes.
year in the Atlantic. They say it's 939 millibars and 145 miles per hour. As
Mm-hmm.
of right now, I do believe that it is high end Cat 3 or very, very low end Cat 4 due to the
Yeah.
eye wall being completely, or the eye being completely shredded apart. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I'm
do believe
very
this is a Cat 3 now.
Yes. I'm very interested to see what the Hurricane Center goes in, like their estimate in around 49 minutes, because like it's clearly not as strong as they initially suggested. Um, so I'm very curious to see what they're gonna go with. They should lower it. I'd be very surprised if they keep it the same. I doubt they're gonna go Cat 3 right off the bat, just lowering it that quickly, just for public perception.
Right. They might keep it like 130 miles per hour, maybe.
Yes. I feel like that's the lowest they'll go. But they should definitely weaken it.
For sure. Definitely that the eye is no longer visible.
Yeah.
And those of you who aren't well aware, the if the eye is gone or there's no eye existent in a tropical cyclone, it is indicative of either its eye wall replacement if it's a strong one, or it's just a weak tropical cyclone. So since they're
Not
Eric's nearing
always, not
landfall, this
always.
is not an eye wall replacement cycle. This is the eye collapsing from it being very close to land. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you got some shear in there, along with just the pure mountainous terrain of Mexico, which is affecting the
Mm-hmm.
cloud levels, cloud tops, and all that stuff. So, eye
Honestly,
walls
there's
caving
not a
in on
lot of
hill.
shear.
Yeah, not a lot of shear, but there's some there. It's not. I'm not saying it has an impact, but it
Yeah.
definitely will help with the whole mountainous terrain thing.
Yeah. It's mostly this band of the Southwest and just land interaction. We'll typically
Hmm.
see these kind of eyes start to collapse as they near land in mountainous areas. So I'm not surprised by
For
that.
sure.
But there is weakening. It's not just that the appearance looks bad.
Of course, yeah, and obviously, since it is nearing land, it will weaken. Every tropical cyclone does that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you have, like, for prime example, some well-known tropical cyclones in the Atlantic. You have Katrina weakening from Cat 5 to Cat 3 before landfall. So it does not surprise me that this has happened to
Yes.
Eric. And it is a very good thing, just so you guys know. Very, very good thing.
Yes, I mean,
It,
this is one of the best case scenarios that we could have seen with this being as strong as it was, that it's starting to weaken this much, and it made a westward wobble.
yes, and it's actually, this is a very good thing because a lot of people, and not just people, but the NAC was also throwing out the word that this could be a Cat 5. But thanks to this westward
Yes.
turn and the mountainous terrain of Mexico, along with that southwestern band affecting the eye, that chance is completely gone, and this has indeed been weakening. We are not sure a current estimate, but my current estimate is around 140, maybe less.
Mm-hmm.
140 miles per hour, not 140 knots.
Okay, in my current opinion, I think it's around 100 to 105 knots, probably. So that'd be around 115, 120 miles an hour. I personally just don't see it as that strong. It likely peaked, in my opinion, at 03Z. So at around here, that would be around 5 hours ago.
Right. And
That.
I'm just
Mhm.
saying that for public perception because
Yes, yeah.
some of you who are watching maybe are directly in the path of this system. So please do treat it as a category 4, like they are saying.
Yes.
Just because we think it's a cat 3 doesn't mean it's officially a cat 3.
Yes.
But just know it is weakening, but still treat this as a category 4.
Exactly. Yeah. You should be indoors at this point and somewhere sturdy.
Above ground because of the storm surge, for sure.
Yes.
It is the worst thing from a hurricane is the flooding.
And unfortunately, even if a storm weakens like this, that doesn't mean that the surge impacts get lowered. This storm did complete its eyewall replacement cycle, which means it is larger, and I mean, it is pushing a lot of water on the eastern side of the storm.
Yes, Erick itself with the eyewall replacement, every storm gets bigger. We saw this with Milton last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Atlantic. It was tiny at first. After the eyewall replacement, the eye got much bigger, and so did the storm itself. Then shear impacted it as it went towards Florida, but that did not stop the increasing size of Milton,
Exactly.
meaning that the winds may have gone down, but the real threat was the flooding. We got over 13 feet of storm surge. And this is no different because this is a near category 3 4 current hurricane, which is around the same intensity as those of Helene and Milton. So storm surge could be around possibly 10 feet or greater. So
Exactly.
please be above ground.
Yes. Fortunately, though, most of the area is not on the coast here. There are some areas that I'm really hoping that they've evacuated.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they've evacuated the coast. If not, then I pray for those people. But
Yes.
they knowing that this was going to happen, I hope that they did take action
Mm-hmm.
and evacuated. Those inland have less of a threat from flooding due to it being mountainous terrain, but still do not underestimate a hurricane.
Speaking about flooding concerns, I'd like to pull up the Hurricane Center or the Weather Prediction Center forecast for rainfall totals. They have mostly over a foot of rain for much of the Oaxaca coastline. They're in parts of Guerrero. So that's 300 to 400 millimeters of rain. Thankfully, now the totals of upwards of 400 millimeters plus is just off the coast. But yeah, there still are some areas that are at least 100 millimeters for much of those two states.
Yep, so over a foot of rain, which is never good.
Mm-hmm.
However, the fact that this is mountainous terrain, at least the parts that I'm guessing they didn't choose to evacuate due to it being mountainous terrain, but still, again, a foot of
Mudslides
rain,
are a problem.
nothing, definitely. In mountainous terrain, the worst possible outcome is mudslides. So
Yes.
if you are living on hillside, I'm hoping you evacuated, at least moved uphill, and stuff like that. Because again, you don't want to be on the side of a hill when this is hitting. Those mudslides will definitely. I'm not going to even say it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we should.
But here's a look at
But
the watches and warnings right now. I'll go through this because this is their public advisory. So a hurricane warning is in effect for Acapulco to Puerto Angel. That is from these two regions right here. This big red area, these are the areas that could see hurricane force wind impacts. And the hurricane watch is in effect west of Acapulco to Tecpan de Guiana over here, and that's the same thing for the tropical storm warning. And the tropical storm warning also extends eastwards of Puerto Angel to Salina Cruz over here. So this is roughly 2 million people in at least tropical storm warnings, and around 1 million people, I think, in hurricane warnings. So this is a pretty large amount of population in a hurricane warning, at least for Mexico.
and if we do want to wind back the year a little bit to last year, we have Hurricane John, kind of
Yes.
affecting similar areas along the coast. And just another reminder here: it doesn't matter where the tropical force winds or the hurricane force winds are. Those outer rain bands are always the number one enemy from a tropical cyclone. You will
Yes.
see these flooding and rain impacts all the way out, even beyond where those tropical storm warnings are. So everyone who is being impacted right now, and you could see on satellite imagery, what we're
band.
showing you right now, these outer rain bands are what's going to be the number one enemy as this takes landfall.
Because of the training effect that they have. How they go over the same
Yes.
areas for hours sometimes.
So those of you in the path of this, we want to just take a brief moment. I want to take a brief moment
Mm-hmm.
myself to say a reminder of Hurricane Harvey from 2017 in the Atlantic Basin. When it made landfall in Texas, it wasn't the wind speeds at Category 4 intensity that did most of the impact. It weakened inland, and it was a tropical storm for over like a day and a half, probably longer actually,
Mm-hmm.
over installed over Texas. But the fact that it doesn't matter if it was a tropical storm or not, it just kept drenching rain over and over
Yes.
Houston, and that whole entire city was flooded. I have a friend I met in person who told me about their experience with Harvey. Terrible nightmare. So again, the rain, just the number one enemy in this situation.
Yes.
We don't expect Eric to stall, but even then, since it's going over land, you will still see tons of rain. Like we said, a foot of rain, maybe
Mm-hmm.
more in localized areas, but thankfully that the higher amounts are located offshore right now.
Yes. Thankfully, these bands that have been firing off to the southwestern side have been staying offshore. That would have been really bad if they started forming on a different side and impacting actual land areas.
Yes, so the southern part of Eric right now, the rain bands, those are extending out like farther away from the storm, but thankfully the northern side ain't that far inland, which is a great sign.
Yes.
However, this could change as it makes landfall because this will sprout outwards, just like we saw with Helene and Milton. It will sprout out once it makes landfall and become disorganized. So that rain and the rain bands will spread
Yes.
as it approaches.
Yes. And let's see, the discussion here says if there's anything else here. Okay, so the key hazards rainfall. Eric will produce rainfall totals of 8 to 12 inches with maximum totals of 16 inches across the Mexican states of Oaxaca and Guerrero. This rainfall will lead to life threatening flooding and mudslides, as we mentioned earlier, especially in areas of steep terrain. Rainfall totals of 2 to 4 inches with maximums of 6 inches are expected across the Mexican states of these four, right down here.
Don't want to mispronounce them.
Yes. And for wind, of course, hurricane conditions are expected in the hurricane warning area beginning during the next few hours. That's around now. With extremely destructive winds near the core of Eric. Hurricane conditions are possible in the hurricane watch area today. And of course, tropical storm conditions are currently spreading onshore. Wind speeds, tops, and on the windward sides of hills and mountains are often up to 30% stronger than near surface winds indicated in this advisory, and in some elevated locations could be even greater. So, as we were talking about.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is something I guess we didn't really mention too much. Those the winds at the surface are what they're saying, or what the estimates are at 145 miles per hour currently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they will be even stronger up higher elevations.
Yes.
So those of you who are on the hills terrain, the winds will be another enemy, especially with the strength of the winds being much stronger uphill. So if it's like 145 miles per hour sustained, that's on ground level. Those of
Yes.
you on the mountains, it could be like 150, 155, 160,
Yes.
around Cat 5 intensity at that level. So again, it is a very dangerous situation to those of you on those mountains because mudslides, flooding, along with those winds. So I'm praying that those of you who live in the mountains who live on the side of hills have evacuated or
Yes.
moved uphill.
Or at least seek sturdy shelter.
Right. What I meant, like, move uphill is like hopefully it's flat ground up there with a sturdy
Yes.
shelter, or move downhill to a sturdy structure.
Yes. They also mention the storm surge. A dangerous, life threatening storm surge is expected to produce coastal flooding near into the east of where the center crosses the coast in areas of onshore wind. The surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. So that's what we were talking about over here, off to the east where the winds are blowing onshore. We could see surge as high as 10 feet in some areas. So the very coastal, low-lying areas are the areas that are going to be the most badly impacted. Off to the east again of where the center makes landfall.
Correct. So we think of rip currents. When there's strong winds, they will blow the water even further on shore. And since this is already producing tons of rain, it does not, help anything. It's going to produce a lot more
Mm-hmm.
water and push it all the way up on land. And that's where that storm surge comes in. And 10 feet of storm surge is probably enough to engulf an entire house from ground level.
Yeah.
So, again, the storm surge could be 10 feet, even higher. It's just a common feature with Category 3 for hurricanes.
Yes. And also, it of course mentions the surf. Swells generated by Erick will continue affecting the coast of southern Mexico through today. These swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Of course, please consult products from your local weather office.
Yep, so, like I said, rip currents, same issue here. Though I don't know why anyone would be surfboarding during this.
Yes. Thankfully, it's in the night, so not a lot of people are out.
Yes. But, it's also a bad thing in the night because a lot of people could have their guard down during
Exactly.
landfall.
Exactly.
So,
Also,
again,
mhm.
those of you in the path, you are watching this stream right now, please take immediate precautions. And landfall is expected in the next few hours. And the
Yes.
winds are already affecting the coast right now. So we need to be prepared.
Yes. Also, I noticed though that the advisory here, of course, their special advisory was meant to replace the intermediate advisory. I noticed though that it still says in the public advisory that the next intermediate advisory would come out at 12 a.m. Even though that this advisory was out at 12 a.m. So I just thought that was quite interesting.
Common error.
Yeah. Thankfully, though, the next advisory should be out within 33 minutes.
Yep, and I'm guessing they'll probably put low end Cat 4 on this due to public,
Perception, yeah.
yeah, public perception. And again, our analysis of this right now does not matter. We care more about your safety than we do the storm's intensity.
Exactly.
Treat this as a Category 4, no matter what.
Yes. Also, we can see new convective burst, mainly the vertical heat towers down here on the northern side of it. That's likely indicating, though, that the storm center is slightly more south, somewhere likely over here, I'd say.
Looks like that's where the main circulation is.
Yeah. So it might be even longer until it makes landfall, which, I mean, that's good news.
In a way, yes, that is very good news.
Yes. The more it can weaken, the better it is for the coast. Thankfully, though,
For sure.
its shift westward has led it over away from very populated areas.
Yes, this is very good, actually, because it could have impacted even more populated areas. This would be even more danger, but thankfully it
Yes.
made that sharp west turn all of a sudden, and also did weaken because of it, which is great. So
Yes.
if this thing did not make the west turn, it could have, and more than likely could have made landfall as a 145 mile per hour Cat 4.
Yes. If it kept going on this eastern trajectory, it was initially going on last night, then yeah, that certainly could have been a possibility. Thankfully, though, it made a
Either
jog west.
for sure, and that is something I didn't really realize till this morning.
Yeah.
But yesterday we were talking about this, and we saw that it was probably going to be a Cat 3 by landfall, and then all of a sudden it just really rapidly intensified, almost explosively intensified
Yes.
into a Category 4, and everyone was stunned by it. I didn't know what to think, and then now
Mm-hmm.
we're more worried about those at risk right now.
Yes. Thankfully, though, the National Hurricane Center was putting out wording on this that it could really rapidly intensify.
Yes,
So I'm
so
hoping
went
people are
back when
prepared.
it was a Category 1, and they said that the sun was rising on Tropical Storm Eric. They hinted that it could rapidly intensify, and well, it did.
Yes.
So it's a good thing that was out. The advisories were out saying it could, and people were well aware of it. Hopefully, well aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
But again, nobody really saw that this would intensify this quickly. Again,
Yes.
Everyone thought it was going to be a low end category 3, maybe high end by landfall. And now you got almost a mid to high end category 4.
Yeah.
So just absolutely insane.
Yes. So we are now 30 minutes away from the next advisory and potentially around 90 minutes until landfall, maybe 2 hours or more until landfall. Should be making landfall by around either 4:30 a.m. or around 4 to 4:30 a.m. Central Time.
Hopefully, we can still get a very pronounced circulation on Erick. That way, we can track for sure when it's going to
Yeah,
make landfall. Right now, we still have a definition of where that circulation is. You can see it
right here.
on the top right side of where those
These
very strong winds
bands.
are.
Yes.
So that right there is likely what's left of the eye and what is the center of Erick right now, which is still off the coast.
Yes. So I mean, it hasn't updated on this imagery yet, but if I would compare where that is to, okay, so yeah, it looks like it's down over. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out where so I can put out distances. So was okay. It's hard telling exactly where it's located at now on this imagery at least, but in terms of distance, it is roughly roughly around 40 kilometers away from land. Either 30 to 40 kilometers away. I don't know how fast it's been moving. It should be displayed on the latest advisory.
As
Moving at
of
15
12
kilometers per hour.
15 kilometers. Okay. It
Yeah.
probably did slow down a little bit more too due to its western jog along with the weakening,
Yes.
but we will see that in around 28 minutes.
Yes. Okay, so let's see if there's anything new on this imagery here, on the AI visible imagery. It should be able to show maybe more of the pronounced eye that we're seeing now. I mean, we can still see it right over here, off to the just south of the coast. Still very difficult to determine where the center is. We can see as well, though, that the band is more pronounced on the far northwestern side of it, right next to the coast. Thankfully, that is going to be moving away from land.
Just be mindful too that the rain bands to the south are staying away from land right now, which is a great sign, meaning that that flooding won't be as bad for the moment.
Yes.
But this gives you guys even more time if you were in the path to get to higher ground, get to a safe place. You still have some time, but it is closing in.
Yes. Alright, so I'd like to try and get my drawing tool to work. It has not worked yet, so I'm going to try and open up maybe a new tab, get it to work. I don't know why it's not working. None of my extensions really are working. So,
That's great, especially when we have a major hurricane about making landfall.
yes. It's like I click them and nothing works, so I don't know why. I'll have to figure that out another time, I guess. Would have to like restart the computer.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's see.
Okay, and here's the look at the Dvorak estimates. I don't think I showed you this earlier. These easily went up into the Cat 4 range just because it looked so solid earlier at around 03Z.
Oh, for sure. It could have easily been a Cat 4 with the way it
Yes.
looked.
But of course, this doesn't paint the full picture. It's just
Nope,
an
these are
estimate.
just,
Mm-hmm.
these are all estimates. Don't think any of these are for sure, like, oh, it's officially 145 or anything. Everything is just an estimate
Yeah.
because we aren't knowing for sure. We never know for sure. But
Yes.
recon are the most reliable They will go fly into the storm and give you the most accurate data that we can. Otherwise, we're just estimating.
Yes. I initially
Like
thought that the Cat 4 estimate was from Recon, but as apparently they weren't in it yet, so I don't know when they're expected to be in it. Oh, it looks like they didn't depart. Okay, I guess we're not getting another Recon flight into it.
that's great.
So we won't know really fully. This is all just going to be satellite estimates that we're dealing with.
Yeah, just win 145. Yeah, I don't know. Again, the NHC does what they want, but we should never argue over an intensity, especially when it's going to make landfall and be a threat to millions. Right
Yes.
now, what's most important is making sure everyone's okay. But yes, we did discuss earlier how Chase thinks it is a Cat 3, and I think it's a low end Cat 4, high end Cat 3.
Yeah.
But right now, that does not matter.
It's still a
Treat
major
this
hurricane.
as treat this as is. Treat this as it is a 145, just like they say.
Yes.
And still, it is a major Category 4. Doesn't make any difference. You need
Yes.
to be above ground.
We can see the center now on this imagery. Here it is with all
Oh,
the
yeah.
vertical heat towers all circling around the center.
Looks like it is. You got your drawing tool?
Yep, or not drawing tool, unfortunately, but
Measuring tool.
yep, distance around 40 kilometers away from land.
40. All right.
Yes, and that was a bit earlier, so that was likely around. Uh, let's see, that is roughly 10 minutes ago.
Okay. So now that we actually have a decent circulation area right now, we can actually tell when this will make landfall.
Also, unfortunately, the
But
band is actually over some areas of land down
oh,
here. We can see it based on the lightning imagery over here near Marquila. Over there.
yep.
Thankfully, again,
Looks
though,
like the
this is
rain
moving
man.
southwest.
Looks like the Raymans are affecting the coast a bit. At least they're not fully on land, but yes,
Yes.
they are impacting the coast now as the eye continues to approach.
Yep. Okay,
Yes,
so
this is
wish
a
I knew how
crazy
to
storm.
pronounce a lot of these names.
I
I know that
think my
that's
dad.
Rio Grande.
Yeah.
So again, if you have any questions, be sure to ask them in the chat, and we'd be happy to answer. Okay, here's a question. This is from Typhoon Lover Silo, saying, "How did Eric become major?"
Well, it was forecasted to rapidly intensify early on, especially by the NHC. They made it very clear the water temperatures near Eric, sorry, were warmer and also very low wind shear, which allowed
Yes.
it to rapidly intensify, similar to storms like Beryl, Milton, or anything like that. Just no low wind shear, so it's got nothing to interfere,
Exactly.
along with warm waters. So just anything you need for a storm to just spit up in intensity, and that's what Eric did.
And also, it was a very moist environment, so it wasn't really impacted by the typical dry air of Mexico.
Very true. The dry air of Mexico near land, like we see Eric falling apart now. It's getting affected by some dry air from
Mm-hmm.
Mexico. How far off the coast it was when it rapidly intensified into a major, it had none of that dry air affecting it. It was all moist
Yes.
air.
Probably pull up what the water vapor looks like now. It should still be moist, I'd say. Don't think that there's a lot of dry air impacting it. Not really.
Not yet.
Nope.
But there's some affecting it, it looks like, but the moist levels like over the water, as you guys can see there, back to the west a little bit. You can see like to the west of Eric where it rapidly intensified, yes, those are very moist waters, as Chase mentioned. So
Yes.
this had all the fuel in the world to become a major, and that's what it did.
Yes, we figured it would. The eyewall replacement cycle kind of stunted it a bit. but it did make it larger, and that's what's worrying because it's impacting now like 2 million people. Um, that is from Selena Cruz all the way to Tekpan di Galania.
Like mentioned though, Eric was a Category 1 to a tropical storm like a day or two ago, and now it is a Cat 4. The thing is, as well, is that during the eyewall replacement cycle, yes, it weakens, but that doesn't mean the threat is completely gone. It means it's getting worse. Not
Yeah.
because the winds are going down, sure, but the storm is expanding. You got more rain bands now. The eye is bigger. It's just more of an area that's going to get affected now. So if you
Yes.
think eyewall replacement is a good thing, it is far from a good thing.
Yes.
So sometimes we pray that the eyes do not collapse, because at some point we'd rather have it be stronger than bigger, because
Yes.
flooding and all of those threats around storm surge are the leading number of deaths in tropical
Hmm.
cyclones.
Especially if it's hitting a rural area, like if an area that there's not a lot of people in. If it gets larger, then it can impact many more people.
Your mic just died, by the way, Chase.
Oh, sorry. Oh, can you still hear me? Whoops. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Can you still hear me?
There you go, fix it.
Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah,
No, you're good.
it'd be better if it hits a rural area at a stronger intensity than a much more populated area being a larger storm but weaker.
Right, and the Western Jog was a very good deal, because not for the ones in the path right now, but
Yes.
it would have hit way more populated areas if it did not do that Western Jog.
Yes. Also, mentioning the rapid intensification of this, at 2 UTC today, it was officially 145 miles an hour. 24 hours ago, before that, it was 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm. So that's an 85-mile-an-hour difference in 24 hours.
So
That's
that is pretty
like
much the
extreme
definition of
intensification.
explosive.
Yeah, or yeah, explosive
Explosive.
intensification.
So yeah, I was
75
right to say
knots.
this
Hmm.
is not just rapid intensification. This is explosive
Yeah.
intensification.
Rapid intensification would be 30 knots in 24 hours. This was 75 knots.
Yep. So it passes by the threshold. So this is therefore explosive intensification.
Yes. Typhoon Lover or Typhoon Lover Silo ask, is this the earliest E-name storm? Yes, it is. This is the earliest E-name storm on record in the Eastern Pacific. Just quite impressive that we have 5 named storms in the Eastern Pacific before June 20th.
Yeah, this is definitely a sight to see. I mean, we had in the Atlantic last year, Beryl was the earliest Category 5. And not just that, but now we have all these earliest records being broken.
Yes.
And it's kind of related to, the whole climate change deal, but that's, a lot of people are up for debate on that.
Yes,
But
yeah.
again, I will say this right now. There's been a lot of moist air over the Eastern Pacific Ocean, and there's been very little shear to interrupt these storms. So
Mm-hmm.
as these small clusters of thunderstorms develop, they've been organized and they've begun to spin, and that's how these storms develop. And we've had a
Yes.
lot of small clusters of storms form over the Eastern Pacific, and they've all been able to spin due to low shear and high moisture and very warm waters. So that's how we've had 5 storms already.
Yes. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's been quite impressive them getting a total of 5 storms in just I think it's been under a month or so. I don't remember when Alvin formed exactly. Okay, well, it formed almost in the end of May. So yeah, 5 storms in only about 20 days. Can you still hear me? Just checking. Can you still hear me? Testing.
Not the mic again?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, your
Testing.
mic's kind of dead again.
Can you hear me?
Didn't work this time.
Dang it. Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now? Oops. Can you hear me? Testing. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Oops. Testing. Can you hear me now?
Oh my goodness.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. I'm moving. This headphone cord is pretty old, so
Oh, that'll
it
do it.
does that
I don't know.
sometimes.
I don't know if that affects the stream, how the stream can hear you, but I bet it does.
Yes, it does. It's my mic connection or my headset stuff.
Okay, good. So I'm also helping the stream. All right, perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
So pretty much this storm is, or this Alvin storm, this formed in late May. So this has been a month now, 20 days or so, and we've gotten 5 named storms. That's pretty impressive in the beginning of June.
And we have all this going on, but Atlantic is still
Yeah,
quiet.
Atlantic's
So,
quiet. Their average storm doesn't form until June 20th.
and that's tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay, so it says a question we have, of course, from Mackenzie says major hurricane question mark. Yes, major hurricane means category 3 or greater.
Yep. So if you ever hear Category 3, 4, 5, they're all major.
Yes.
So if you ever browse Wikipedia and you look at storms, like you look at the Wikipedia page of Hurricane Katrina or any storms like that, you'll scroll down and you'll see that the intensity was Category 5 major hurricane or Category 4 major hurricane, Category 3 major hurricane. But then you got Category 1 hurricane, Category 2 hurricane, because
Yeah.
those aren't majors. The major hurricanes are 3 plus. 1 and 2 are regulars, and then you just got tropical storm and depression, all that stuff,
Yes.
yada yada. But the storms will only be named a tropical storm intensity plus.
Yes.
So the fact that we've had 5 storms that have reached tropical storm intensity already in the Eastern Pacific, crazy enough, and earliest E-name storm, like Chase mentioned. So this
Mm-hmm.
is a record-breaking storm, not just for the E-name, but now we got probably the earliest explosive intensification in the East Pac.
I mean, it's not that surprising to get a major hurricane in June in the Eastern Pacific. We've seen those before, even in, I think, May, I believe. It's just the fact that we've had 5 storms back to back.
I think what I meant is it's probably the most strongest or fastest intensification.
Yeah, the
In,
intensification rate was very impressive with the storm.
yeah, so I don't know if that's the earliest
It might
for the
be,
fastest.
honestly.
It might be,
I mean, there's
but
storms
either
that
way,
happen
this
in
storm.
early, like June and late May. Those happened, like I believe that was more so gradual or rapid intensification. Not this rate though.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
probably the earliest known explosive intensification in the Eastern Pacific. It could
Yeah.
be not for sure, but this storm either way has broken records,
Yes.
and it is a major Category 4 hurricane. All of you in the path, once again, treat this as an extreme situation. Like in the United States, they issue extreme wind warnings because you got extreme winds associated with the eye wall, and then not only that, but you should be getting storm surge warnings. Hopefully, I don't know if they do issue those in Mexico or not, but
Yes.
storm surge will indeed be the number one killer in tropical cyclones. You need
Yes.
to be above ground and in a sturdy building away from windows in the center hallway, room, something sturdy, like we say for tornadoes in the United States. You
Yes.
need to be on the highest floor possible, but also in a sturdy room.
Yeah. It should be over within the next 12 hours or so for you all there. So just seek shelter, go to sleep in that shelter maybe. Just be in something sturdy, pass the time by. It's gonna be a little while before it finally leaves you all. It may be 6 to 12 hours before that, but then afterwards there it should start calming down.
Yes, you may be without power for a few days,
Yes.
and there's definitely going to be, the water's going to be far inland, so you might see a lot of flooding, but that'll be lasting for a few days, but at least the winds and all
Cool.
that
Yeah.
stuff on. So you can, you don't have to be worried about being in reinforced structure. But for the next 12 hours, it is probably best to be in that reinforced structure.
Yes, if you're
If you
along the
must,
coast.
you should take, survival kits with you. You should take a mattress or something like that to, sleep on, pass by the time, like Chase mentioned, or,
Mm-hmm.
like what I like to do is watch a funny video,
Yes, yeah.
like something just to pass by the time, because obviously
It's a very
this is going to
very
be
scary situation.
very scary, very life threatening, and also going to be quite a while before this thing leaves.
Yes, and that's just for the coastal areas. These areas further inland do have more time to prepare for the storm, and also it's going to be a little bit longer, of course, until the impacts are done for them.
Right. So those of you inland, you are going to get the weaker portion. Obviously, as Eric moves inland, it will weaken. However, as it weakens, the rain bands and everything like that are going to expand further outwards. So you guys are probably going to get more rain, possibly, than those being affected right now.
Yes.
Just so you know, you could get equal amounts or more, maybe a little bit less. We don't know. We don't know. But it is extremely crucial that you take this extra time you have to get whatever belongings you have and get to a sturdy building, top floor, away from windows. Again, you have extra time, and you probably don't even have to go there yet, but you should always be ready.
Yes. So we have a question here. Grenadine says, "Do you believe Eric could get retired?"
That is something that we will probably not disclose yet. Again, Eric could get retired if it does, enough damage, and hopefully pray to God not fatalities.
Yes.
But we are not looking towards that right now. We are praying to God and everything that everyone believes in, that this does not do any harsh impacts.
Yes.
So
We're
right now,
hoping it
retirement
continues
is
this
not the
weakening
number
rain.
one thing. We don't worry about retirement until after the season's over and after the storm is over, because
Yes.
right now we're more worried about those affected. But given its circumstances right now, Eric is a record breaker, so that could also be something that they could consider for retirement. But as of now, it's not worth talking about.
Yes. And something that is worth talking about now is that the National Hurricane Center has issued their latest advisory on it. They've posted their
Ooh,
tweet on it saying Hurricane Eric Advisory 12, Eric very near the coast of Mexico, bringing extremely destructive winds near its core. I have not seen its full update yet.
I will see if I can find it quick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Advisories. 3 a.m. Here it is.
Okay.
Eric near the coast. Currently, the pressure has gone up to 940 millibars, maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour.
Okay, so they have weakened it.
So they have weakened it slightly, not much.
Yes. Okay, so here, I'll read the discussion now. Eric is about to make landfall along the southern coast of Mexico. Its rapid strengthening episode has ended, likely due to its interaction with land. The eye has become obscured on satellite imagery, and the intensity is adjusted to 120 knots in agreement with the latest objective estimates. Eric remains an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane. However, rapid weakening will occur after the center moves inland and the system moves over the mountainous terrain of Mexico. Smoothing out the the wobbles in the track, the motion estimate is 310 degrees at 8 knots, remains about the same as before. This general motion on the south side of a weak level ridge is likely to continue until the system dissipates within the next day or so. The official forecast track is slightly west of the previous one and close to the latest corrected consensus.
Yes. So what I found here is at 3 a.m. Central Standard Time, or 9 UTC, the center of Hurricane Eric was located near latitude 15.9 degrees north and longitude 97.9 degrees west. Eric is moving toward the northwest near 9 miles per hour, 15 kilometers an hour, and this general motion is expected to continue through tonight. On the forecast track, the center of Eric is expected to make landfall in the western portion of the Mexican state of Oaxaca or the eastern portion of the Mexican state of Guerrero within the next few hours. and then continue inland over southern Mexico later today.
Yes.
Maximum sustained winds are near 140 miles per hour, 220 kilometers an hour, with higher gusts. Erick is a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. After landfall, Erick should rapidly weaken over the mountainous terrain of Mexico, and the system is likely to dissipate tonight or early Friday. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 25 miles or 35 kilometers from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 90 miles, 150 kilometers. The estimated minimum central pressure is 940 millibars or 27.76 inches. So
Yes.
again, we are also looking at the possibility of 8 to 12 inches of rain
But here,
with
hold on.
maximum
I'll go
growth.
over that in a bit. For right now, though, I did want to mention that the forecast has been shifted significantly more west. It
Oh,
might
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
make landfall for a while.
Holy mackerel. Yeah, that is even more west.
Yeah, current landfall timing is at around 9 a.m. our time, so that's roughly 5 hours from now. Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, these western wobbles is what caused that.
Dang, that's crazy.
Even Acapulco is now back into the cone, so that's quite interesting.
Continues to shift west.
Yes. So I'll update the landfall timing for now to 5 hours, just because. It's roughly, I think, this. Yes. Okay.
I am gonna say though, yes, we are still expecting lots of rain from this.
Yes. Now, first, I did want to answer some of the questions that we have. Nicholas says that the guy with mic problems, of course, that's me, is quite low in volume, but it seems to be stable otherwise. I want to ask you all in chat, is my audio okay? Who's louder out of us two? Because I'm not exactly sure.
I don't even know I'm on my phone, so I don't really got a mic right now.
Mm-hmm. And while we wait for answers for that, we have another question for why was there rapid eye development when the hurricane was still a Category 1? That was mainly due to low wind shear. That
Yep,
allowed it to
so
reach the very high up into the storm.
indeed. The very low wind shear allows it to reach very high up in the storm, and then
Yeah.
the eye is able to develop with the circulation. So circulation developed very, very swiftly with the warm, moist air, and you got the warm waters as well, along with that, and the very low wind shear. So started to swirl. They were organized. Thunderstorms began to swirl from tropical storm status to Category 1. And then that eye was very swiftly able to develop because of that strong swirling. Just like you would in a tornado, you get like a nice little eye. However, these eyes are a lot larger and a lot
Yes.
more visible to satellite imagery.
Exactly. Then we have a question for. It's Cat 4 now? Yes, officially it is a Category 4. Those in the path of it should treat it as such.
Yes. So earlier, me and Chase were saying we do not think it is a Cat 4 because
Mm-hmm.
of the current way it looks on satellite imagery. However, the NHC is saying that this is a Cat 4, and due to that, everyone in the cone and anyone that is in the path of this should treat it as a Category 4 major hurricane.
Exactly.
Because our analysis does not matter right now.
Yeah. Bernadines asks, why did NHE go Cat 4? Doesn't look amazing. Of course, it doesn't look amazing now, but earlier it did. When they officially went with it, that was at around 03Z, I believe. So I'll pull that up. That was roughly right around. No, it wasn't here. It was at around 06Z. So that's when it really started to deteriorate. But at the time, the subjective satellite estimates were already showing that it was quite strong here. It looked very solid at around 03Z. And so just going off of that, it looked like that it would still continue intensifying. It didn't really count the band that developed to its southwest that started to shred it apart. So that's likely why they went that high. And the reason they haven't really lowered it a whole lot is because of public perception.
Yes. So, like me and Chase think it is a Cat 3. They want to keep the people aware, and usually by making it seem higher, it's worse of a threat, and people take it more seriously.
Exactly. And that in turn
So,
saves lives.
exactly. So, the whole public perception thing, let's say this, like, if I were to work for the National Weather Service, for example, and, with the whole tornadoes not being rated, violent anymore, people aren't taking them as seriously. So, rate them as they should. Rate the structure, not the scene, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So rate something EF5 here. Everyone's gonna start being worried again. Oh no, we need to take shelter. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Just stop being so petty about ratings and all that. That's what the NHC is doing a good job at right now.
Exactly. They're really good at public perception.
Yes, that's a very good thing.
Yes.
So, like we said, our analysis right now does not matter. What does matter right now is that you are taking this extremely seriously. This is a Category 4 major hurricane approaching landfall, which is supposed to happen around 5 hours, but it could be very sooner. We are not too sure
Yes. If
yet.
it makes a wobble eastward, it could make it very soon.
As it's looking at right now, the center of where we believe that circulation is, it looks to be moving right towards land.
It's around 40
And
kilometers away.
it looks like it's moving almost due north.
Ooh, I'll check it out. And to me, it looks like it's moving more west.
It looks like it's moving north northwest.
Yeah.
When you had that little live replay of the other one,
This
go back
thing,
to the
yeah.
other one.
This one isn't
See,
as accurate.
it just looks like it's moving north northwest.
Yeah.
But either way, both of them kind of prove it is moving, either northwest or west northwest or north northwest. So it
Yes.
could make landfall in the next few hours, maybe not 5 hours. We'll see.
Yes, five
Again, we will
hours I
watch
think
this
is the
circulation.
later estimate of it. I mean that's if it continues its current trajectory. If it moves off to the east, it looks like that it'd make landfall within the next 2 hours.
Yeah, so we'll keep our eyes on it here. Again, we are not too sure at the moment what
Mm-hmm.
approximate time it will make landfall, but according to satellite imagery, it looks like it could be within the next next 2 hours to 2 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if it makes a wobble off to the west even further, it could even prolong it to the next 12 hours or so.
yeah, so if it keeps jogging to the west, it could miss land right here by God, what's that city name right there? I'm not even going to pronounce that. The Sea City, and then it could dodge that
Mm-hmm.
other Sea City. I'll say that right now.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's
Yes.
better than mispronouncing it on live stream.
Exactly.
But so it could jog that landmass and move over a little bit more, but we'll see.
Yes. I've been surprised by the jogs it's made. I remembered initially it did make a significant jog, or models shifted significantly more west for the storm towards where it's hitting now. But then the storm started jogging east, which looked like it was going to push up landfall time quite a bit. But now it's moved more west. So it does these wobbles for a bit.
This kind of reminds me of one of the most historic storms in the Atlantic. You got Wilma. Again, it did those
Yeah,
wobbles because it was so intense and the eye was so small. It
exactly.
did those wobbling jogs. This kind of reminds me of that, but again, it's not as strong and the eye wasn't as small, but it was a
Yeah,
very small eye. That's for
yes,
sure. It was a very small eye. So these jogs are pretty common for storms with tiny eyes.
exactly. It's normal for storms to do these kind of wobbles, especially ones that are weakening. It's trying to figure out what to do with it.
Eye wall replacement.
Yeah,
Eye wall replacement for sure. You will definitely see the wobbles because they don't know for sure where the circulation is without the eye.
yes. Okay, I'm gonna see if there's any cameras or weather stations. That'd be nice to look at. Okay, doesn't seem like we have any weather stations super close. The closest one is off to the northeast. Not really great. And doesn't show pressure either. The one in Acapulco will probably be the best. This one's at around 15 kilometers an hour with 25 kilometer an hour gust. Also does not measure pressure.
Hmm.
Let's see if there's any live cameras. And I guess
On the
there's not.
coastline.
The
No
closest
live
one
camera on the
is
coastline.
very far away.
Gosh, dang it.
Yeah. Worth a shot, though.
Yeah, at least you tried.
Yep.
Ooh, okay, that is looking very less pronounced. It
Mm-hmm.
might be hard to determine where the circulation is coming up soon because our window is collapsing.
Yes. It has crossed now 98 degrees west, right over here, it looks like. Looking at the imagery.
Yes.
I forgot that
Sounds about
there's
right.
other websites as well for satellite imagery. I'll pull them up. I think it's Real Earth is one of them.
Is that high on?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yes. Yes.
I'm like, yeah, typical Chase. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Anyways.
I found that imagery online. I was like, oh, 4K high resolution hurricane and typhoon imageries. I'm like, ooh, these look nice.
Yeah, they do look kind of sick, not gonna lie.
Yes. So
All
this is.
satellite imagery, the storms look cool, so don't blame
Mm-hmm.
you.
So this is
All
this
right.
imagery here. I'll have to pull up infrared imagery. It should be on here somewhere. Uh,
Infrared, I see it.
yep. Yeah, I was just choosing which one.
Clean infrared.
Yep. I
Let's see.
guess does this not work then? I guess. Okay. Huh. It's been finicky for a while now. Oh wait, no, it's picking the Alaska one. Okay, this is. I'm confused on which ghost imagery this is. I know it's 19. Okay, that's east then. They've swapped it. Okay. So this is. Yeah, because Ghost East is more centered over here. So it's not Ghost West. It is going to be Ghost East Meso 2. And here it is. There we go. Okay, well, that's not the kind of infrared I was looking for.
Yeah, see the eye is gone.
Will it play? Okay, there we go. And then speed it up. And I'll also get more frames, so it's not just this. I'll get 30 frames, because why not? So we can see over the past 30 minutes where it's moved. And I'll try to also add another infrared imagery on here. I think this one may work. Yep, there it is.
Yep. Awesome. Just trying to get all the frames right now.
Exactly.
Someone play the Jeopardy music. Just
Mm-hmm.
kidding.
Yeah. There we go. M13 says now
Awesome.
Cap 4. Been looking for a live like this. You got a sub for sure. Thank you. We appreciate it. But here's the center of the storm. We can see it. It popped right back out now again, that eye. Again, nearing the coast, and you can clearly see that thunderstorm off to the west. Very
Yeah.
pronounced banding.
What I'm actually seeing right now is it looks like the eye is moving kind of north.
It looks like it's stalled.
Actually, yeah, it kind of looks like it's still, but also moving north-northwest.
Yeah.
It looks like it's moving very slow now, so obviously probably way less than 9 miles per hour. It could be like near 2 miles per hour at this point. It could be stalled almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does look like it is moving in the north-northwest direction, so we could see landfall within the next 2 hours.
I mean, that stalling motion does cause storms to wobble.
Mm-hmm. This is not for sure, but this is a rough estimate.
Yes.
Based on what the radar loop is currently showing us.
Yeah. Just try and get a closer up zoom on it. Someone asked, bro, is this storm going to intensify to a Category 5, or will it make landfall in weekend? It's not going to make landfall as a Category 5. It might make landfall only as a Category 3. It does appear
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
storm is weakening.
Yep, north-northwest. I was right.
Yes. Is that what they went
It
with
may
their motion?
it may look like it's west northwest, but it is definitely moving north. I can see that north jog.
Oh yeah. I
Okay.
mean, to me, it looks like it's just stalling at that point.
It does look like it's stalling, yes, but it does have that north motion.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, let me check what the advisory says for movement.
Okay.
Oh, northwest.
Northwest, yeah. I mean that's been
Three.
pretty much their cone.
Yep, 310 degrees at 9 miles per hour.
Okay.
That is a 3 a.m. advisory.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna pull up Ram B, the slider thing. This is another satellite image thing. This one I like, but I like this more when it's day. It's gonna be a while for their day. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull up infrared imagery instead, or I can pull up their mesosector imagery. I think Ghost 19, not full disk, mesoscale 2,
I love how
and
I was supposed to get back on my sleep schedule today, but oh my goodness, I ruined that.
yeah.
I ruined that so bad. But you know what? It's okay. This is important
Mm-hmm.
information here.
I went
So
to sleep at
I didn't
8:30.
want you to I didn't want you to solo this.
Thank you.
Obviously,
This is
if you
not
do all that
the.
talking, but
Thank you. I don't know what I'm looking at here. This is not the storm right now. Oh, this was at 2Z. So it seems like it has not updated on
that's,
this website, so we'll
yeah.
catch
So
up
that's
with that
around
again.
peak.
Mm-hmm.
Around peak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is around northwest, but it does look like it is stalling.
Mm-hmm. And here, I'll pull up even more frames on this imagery so I can go to the past hour. And this is minute
It
by minute
could
imagery, so this is
it
really up
could
to date.
very well. So it could, in my opinion, it could very well. With the eye right now, what it's doing is if it's stalling, it's going to perform another jog, maybe.
Yeah.
So if that's what they're expecting, this could make another Western jog. So we could be seeing that 5 hour landfall time,
Yes, but it could also
depending
be
on
pulled
when
more
this thing.
north.
Yes, it could also be pulled more north. We are not sure yet, but we are for sure that it is stalling somewhat.
Yes.
So whatever jog it makes, we'll keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm
This we'll
just
see for
loading
sure
some
here.
data. Yeah, and here you can see these vertical heat towers circling around the eye. Not as
Yep.
not as intense. I mean,
Yep.
to me, it looks like
Northwest.
it's moving northwest very slowly, though.
Yep. Like I thought, it's moving northwest, but it is doing it very slowly, and it is probably performing another jog here.
Yeah.
Whether that's to the north or west is to be determined.
Yes. Okay, yeah. So this is the
I'm
past.
guessing. I'm guessing they're predicting that it's going to jog to the west.
Yeah, that's what they've had in their forecast. It being significantly more west. Initially, their forecast was, I don't remember where exactly it had it making landfall. I believe it was around here-ish. So it
Yeah, it's
has
around. That's
shifted.
around where it looks like it's heading.
It shifted roughly 20 kilometers to the west.
Yeah, didn't it look like on that satellite imagery that it was jogging there just a second
I mean,
ago?
this is where they had like the forecasted landfall spot. So I mean, it's been very far to the west now. But if it makes that northern jog, yeah, it would make landfall somewhere here. These
It
bends
could
of
still.
coastline matter a lot because if it even goes slightly more west, it will give it a lot more time when as it's paralleling the coast mostly.
Yep. It does look like it is kind of. It still looks like it's stalling.
Yeah.
But if it looks like it is starting to jog north,
So also the
kind
eye
of.
though is has become a little bit more pronounced now in the later frames. We can see that eye temperature start to raise.
Yes, that is for sure. The eye is somewhat still there, which is a very good thing because then we can track when the precise landfall is going to be.
Exactly. I'll take a look at what the eye temperature is now compared to earlier. Okay, it's at around minus 65 degrees Celsius, so it's still not it's not that warm, but it is warmer than the surrounding convection, which is around minus 80 degrees.
Right.
So there is a difference. What does this do? This is an interesting graph. The maximum eye temperature. Ooh, this is really nice. Okay. This shows the evolution of the eye temperature over time, and as you can see, it's quickly cooled as it's weakened here at around 06, 07 Z. And it has briefly raised, then cooled down, but it is quite cool right now.
Yep, and near the 3Z peak, you could see that the eye was very on fire.
Yeah, so it was around minus 10 Celsius or even warmer than that.
Yep, so it was very warm at that time, and now it's dropped.
Mm-hmm. 09MGen says Mexico is experiencing heavy rains and strong winds right now. And just to fill you in, one death has already been acquired, but no damages though. Well, that's unfortunate
One
news.
one fatality.
Um,
Interesting.
Fortunately, that number is likely to go up.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
This is not good.
MGen, do you know what that fatality was caused by?
Might be on Wikipedia.
I'll check off screen. Uh, okay, it does say one fatality and several are missing. Okay, I'll pull this up on stream now.
Yep, so one fatality. Does it say how that person died, though?
It
Or
should. It was in Honduras.
rock falls and, yep, there's landslides. Yep.
Landslides and rock falls, yep.
Looks like it was from landslides, unfortunately.
Yes, and
Damn.
something we could see a lot more of in Mexico, the main area of impact.
Yep. That's probably the first of what could be more to come if this is not taken seriously. So, once again, we mentioned landslides earlier. Here's another good reason right now. Someone was just killed in a landslide. This is a good reason why you need to seek shelter. Oh, yeah, it is making that north jog.
Let me see. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I can see it now.
It could make landfall here pretty shortly then. Maybe like an hour
Yep.
or so. Or two.
Yeah, I'd say maybe
Maybe they'll.
2 hours or so. Just
Yep.
under 2 hours as the lower estimate. 5 hours if it makes that western jog, and then it could be as high as like 10 hours if it goes even farther west.
It looks like it's jogging to the north right now, but that can change.
Yes. But yeah,
As we
I
saw
see what you're
earlier, as we saw earlier in Eric's life, it did make a jog to the north, but then jogged west right after that. So
saying. Yes.
this could be what it's doing right now.
Do
As
another
you can see
wobble
right
to the
there,
north.
when it became a Category 2 to Cat 3, the change, you could see it went to the north and then wobbled to the west. It could be doing
Yes.
this same thing again, or it's going to go straight north and make landfall. But
Yeah.
right now, it looks like it is moving to the north. So with that northern movement, it could make that jog to the west and likely still make landfall where it is saying it'll make landfall right now
Yes.
on the coast.
In my opinion, though, if it does that wobble to the north, it's probably just going to shred the storm. And so it wouldn't really matter if it made that western jog anymore once
No.
it touches land. Yeah.
Once that, we'll see what the eye does, though. It looks like it is moving north,
Yes.
though, so that landfall could be very soon if it keeps doing that.
Yes. Is there a distance tool? No, okay, I can just draw a polygon. Nothing to...
Oh, it is really making that northern jog. Look at that.
Yep. So I'll display where its eye was now compared to an hour ago. Oh, I can see distance. So it's roughly around 27 kilometers away from land now.
That is very close.
Yes. And it's moving at around 15 kilometers an hour, so it could be under 2 hours if it continues moving north.
Let's see. So it does look like it is making a northern jog, but we'll see on the next few updates here.
Over the past hour, it's moved around 9 kilometers. Roughly right there. Okay, can I delete this or what does this do?
Do Control Z. Do Control Z.
Nope, only pops that up. I think I just click delete layers.
Oh,
Clear all. There we go.
there you go.
That's, yeah, it is nice though that I can see the distance by using this here. So again, on the latest frame, this was as of 9:14. That would be on this time. It would be
6 minutes ago, it looks like.
yes. So 6 minutes ago, it was roughly around 28 kilometers away from land. Around
28, 27, yep. Somewhere like that, yeah. And then if
mm-hmm.
Back an hour ago, it was around, let's see.
Oh, back an hour ago, it was around, yep. This is where I'd say the center is, so it would be around 36 kilometers away.
So it's kind of moving at around 10 kilometers an hour almost.
Yes.
So at this rate, it could make landfall in the next 2.5 hours. If it doesn't, maybe. If it speeds up, we'll see.
But yeah, I mean, if it's stalling like you're suggesting, it could prolong the time for landfall as well. Just even if it goes more north.
Yeah, it does look like it is making that northern jog for the moment, but I could be wrong here.
I don't know if it actually stalled. It looked like on satellite it did, but it looks like that was just the western part of the eye being revealed. It looks like it's just been gradually moving more north, like you suggested.
Looks like it could have stalled for like half a second and then made that jog.
Yeah, I think it's just that the western side was revealed, and then we can see the center again.
Yeah, because it looks like it kind of stalled there and made that northern jog.
Yep. We have more imagery now. This is up until 9:19, so this is more up to the imagery, yeah.
Wait, hold up. Play it again. It looks like it's jogging to the northeast.
Looks like it's jogging more north.
North. Yep. Due north.
So if I pull up the latest now, update from landfall, it's still roughly 27 kilometers away from land.
It was 28 on the last edit, so yes. This is.
And I'll pull up its motion over the past hour, roughly 11 to 12 kilometers. And so here's the motion.
Over the past hour.
So it looks like it's been moving north-northwest. See, so
and then now it looks like it's jogging.
Appearance over here was just the western eye opening it up on satellite. It looks like the center has just been continuously moving north-northwest.
And it looks like it's starting to jog to the north now.
Yeah. I mean, if it continues this trajectory, it could be 35 kilometers away from landfall.
Maybe and if it's moving north, like we're saying, then it could be about 27, 28.
Yeah.
Either way, it looks like it's going to make landfall within the next 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4.
Yes. Oops. Okay, so if it goes to the north, this would be the northernmost solution. It would be roughly 27 kilometers away from land. And then if it continues moving west over here, oops, I'm trying to draw something, but that failed. But let's see. I will.
Wish there was an undo button.
Have to delete all layers. Yep. Okay. Anyways, based on its current trajectory, here I will pull this up once more. Center was there roughly an hour ago. It's over here now. I'll finish that. Okay, so if it moved due north from its current position, it would be around 27 kilometers away from land. If it moved its current trajectory, it would be around 48, 49 kilometers away from land. And then if it moved a little bit more west than normal, based on that, it would be a long time until landfall. It would be over 100 kilometers away.
So we're basically drawing our own spaghetti model right now. Those
Exactly.
of you just looking at this right now. As of recent satellite imagery, it looks to be jogging more to the north, but
Yes.
we will continue seeing on updates, and it looks like it is going to be either the first two
Yes.
at this moment. We are less confident on that really western jog now, like they're saying. We're more confident
Yes.
on a
On this
landfall
eastern side.
on
This
the sea.
eastern
Yes, on
side
the
has
side
only
here.
30 kilometers of coastline, whereas compared to the western part of it, there's over easily over 100 kilometers of coastline it can make landfall in. So these minor wobbles matter a lot.
They definitely do here. This could determine whether it makes landfall in the next, 2 to 3 hours, or 5 to 6 hours, or 12 hours.
Yes.
So we're going to keep watching very closely.
Mm-hmm. Well, Grenadine says 16 deaths from Guatemala. I'll search that up.
16?
Yes. 16 deaths from Guatemala.
That's
I don't see anything on that
wow.
just yet. He probably posted it in the Discord, I'm guessing. We'll check. Okay, don't see it.
We got a question from 09 EM a couple minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Asking, is there any other potential
Oh,
tropical
yeah.
cyclones in the Western Pacific?
Thank you. I'll check. No, there's nothing else going on right now as in terms of tropical cyclones. In the Eastern Pacific, I don't think there was anything really seen. Now there's that, but that's in the 10-day or 7-day range now. I'll see what ensemble support there is. Ooh, okay. There's decent ensemble supports. There is also ensemble support on another system forming to the southwest of Erick, potentially moving towards Mexico, mostly staying away from land. I did notice that. But then also there is an uptick in tropical activity once again in the Eastern Pacific in about a week or so. That's the American ensembles. Euro ensembles also show some minor support for that system southwest of Erick, but heavy support on another storm developing in the Eastern Pacific. Wow, I did not see this before. And then they also asked the Western
Oh,
Pacific. The
yep,
Western
the
Pacific,
Westpac.
Euro support shows minor development southeast of Japan. I believe American ensembles, yeah, they were showing more so support on this. The last update I gave this a 20% chance of development. And there is also some potential development headed towards Hainan Island in the South China Sea. That's something also to watch. Oh wow, and then of course American ensembles go ballistic past
Well, like
the 10-day
always.
range, yep.
Best
Um,
not to do the 10-day range, just look for like the 7-day range right now. And,
mhm.
whenever you're looking at data yourself, besides us, you got probably 7 days out, the farthest you should go, because you go out 10 days, you're going to see a lot of nuclear bombs going off.
Yeah,
And yeah, he did say that you should check the Discord to see the
yes,
16
yep. I'll pull that up.
Guatemala.
So I'll pull up that article off stream real quick. Just want to make sure.
Be sure it's credible.
Yes. And good thing is I can translate it to English. Uh, okay, I'll pull it up on stream now. Of course, there's advertisements because my ad blocker's not working.
Looks like it's .cu, so this looks like it could be. It's a press.
Yep. So it says to date, Guatemala has responded to 488 emergencies due to rains, resulting in 16 deaths, 26 injuries, and 4,752 people affected, and 956 homeless. The fatalities were the results of landslides, trees falling on homes, and flooding rivers, the report said, adding that 3 people were also missing.
Yeah, so it looks like Eric has claimed 17 then as of now.
Yes.
I don't know if they changed it on Wikipedia
Oh,
yet,
yep,
but
they did. They did. They have updated
yep,
it to
there it is.
17 fatalities, 26 injuries, 3 missing.
Yep. So I want to go back to my earlier mention. If you do use the Wikipedia page, you see there Category 4 major hurricane.
Yes.
Category 3 plus will be majors because
That's what
1
we
and
mean by
2 are
major
not.
hurricane.
Yep. So major hurricane again is anything that is category 3 or greater.
Yeah.
Category 1 and 2 are just normal hurricanes, they're not major, but you know,
Yes.
just just for clarification, again, this is a category 4 major hurricane as it approaches landfall. It does look like to be jogging more to the
Yeah.
north,
Here's the
actually.
latest 4 minutes in imagery here. We can see
Yeah, it's
that
doing the north.
northern
It's doing the
jog.
northern
Yeah.
jog. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. M13 said, looks like it could hit Cora Coralero, maybe if it keeps the same path. Where is that?
Cordillero, isn't
Oh,
that
it's
to
this area.
the?
It is going to be this area over here.
Yeah. So the eye itself will be very close to the
Yes.
Cordillero. Very, very close. If it continues its northern jog, because it is definitely jogging to the north right now, based on what we're
Yes.
seeing. Yes, it is definitely jogging to the north.
Yep, so we could
So
easily
again,
see landfall
our,
within the next 2 hours.
yes, this is our little spaghetti model again. We
Yeah,
drew this. We think
showing the
that
different possibilities.
three of these things. This is what me and Chase believe. Right
Yes.
now, we are thinking it's going to do the first one, which is the northern jog, and that's what it appears to be doing. But then it could also curve a little bit west, and then you got that one closer to Corlero, or whatever the city's called.
Yes.
Or it could just completely take a western turn and stay off land and make landfall in God knows how long. But
Yes. But it seems to be doing in between the northernmost and continuing its current motion. So yeah,
yes,
Coralero is in the main path of it.
it could very well go in between the first two that we made, or
Yes.
it could take one of them. Again, it looks like it's jogging more to the north at the moment, but it could make a little bit of a western jog, and Corlero could definitely be in the eye itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to say anything just yet, but the eye is going
Exactly.
to be really way too close for comfort. You guys need to be in that sturdy building.
Yes. The more east it goes, the less storm surge they'd get.
Yes, so well, we are hoping it stays on the northern
Here's
jog.
some more imagery on it that just came
Um,
out. This is. Yep, you're right on that.
yeah,
That northern
north,
jog.
north. Yep. All right.
The ice starting to clear again.
This is actually a good case scenario here because the if it does continue that northern jog and it makes landfall here shortly, it is good news in terms of storm surge
Yes, for that
for
area
Calero.
off to the west. Areas off to
For
the
Calero, yeah.
east will get heavy impacts. Let me see where's off to the east. Thankfully, though, there's not a whole lot off to the east where the coastline would allow for a lot of surge.
Yeah, so thankfully, due to the northern jog, the main city of Calero will be safe from most of those surge impacts. However, what is the main concern for Calero right now? It could be
Winds and
extreme
rain.
winds,
Yes.
extreme winds from the eye wall, along with rain, flooding.
Yes.
So again, storm surge is also a possibility, but it will not be at maximum strength, maximum intensity due to the northern jog here, which is a very good thing.
Yeah. I'm going to lower landfall timing down an hour, I think.
Yeah, wise choice.
So I'll do.
3 hours.
For now, I'll do 3.5 hours for now. That would be 2 10 minutes, I think. And I'll minus the. So I think it's 2 7. There we go. Just for right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's see.
okay, iCyclone made a post as of 2:55 a.m. his time, so that's going to be around 40 minutes ago. He said heading west to San Jose, Estancia. Okay, I'll look up where that is. That is okay. It's San Jose. Oh, whoops. San Jose. Estancia. Not Bolivia. Grande. Okay, it is going to be right here. So this is where he's headed to right now. iCyclone, the hurricane chaser.
Looks like he's going to be in the eye wall.
Yes, it looks like it'd be continuing that way. Yes. I'm just
I
checking
think,
its
based
phone.
on what I'm seeing right now, looks like it is continuing that northern jog. So yeah, Calero might be safe, but I'm not gonna try to make an early call. But we'll see.
Yes. Okay, here, I'm going to make an update on its trajectory over the past hour. Now, using this tool, I'm going to delete the previous ones.
Yes, draw a new spaghetti model.
So an hour ago, it was roughly around, say, 30 to 40 kilometers away from land, and then now it's moved about, oh yeah, it's moved around 16 kilometers over the past hour in that motion. Oops, oh, and of course I deleted it, my faults. If I go back, this time it was roughly right there, and then finish, and then I'll do the full on trajectory. If it moves due north, it will be around. Due north looks like it is this direction. Due north, it is around 22 kilometers away from land. No,
Yes.
it's more due north. Yep. Okay. Um, if it moves in its current trajectory, which would be this way, just going to double check real quick. Okay, so I'm going to put my finger there, and so they would be right around here. If it moves at its current trajectory, it would be around 27 kilometers away from land. So 22, 27. Then if it moves more west, it looks like it'd be around 47 kilometers away from land, or a little bit less,
Yep.
42.
In this case, right now, what we're trying to say now is landfall is almost definite going to happen in the next few hours
Yes.
because the northern jog here has definitely prevented it from being able to stay over open waters. It is going to make landfall very soon.
Yes.
And with the northern jog right now, it does appear that. Oh, well, let's see. Let's just wait for the satellite here.
Yep. Just has to load 30 frames, and I think it just loaded a couple more now. I think there will be
Good.
5 new frames in the end.
Good news.
Yes.
This will tell us for sure if it's moving
Mm-hmm.
to due north or if it jogged at all.
Yeah. Okay. It's almost out. Here we go.
North.
Yep, it's making that more jog towards the north now.
It's
So we
gonna make
should see
landfall
landfall
here.
pretty soon, yeah. So this was the past hour of motion. So yeah, I'm gonna lower landfall timing by another hour.
It looks like 30 minutes
I'd say
by
yeah,
now.
I'd say almost under an hour, but I'm just gonna lower it down to uh, almost 2.5 hours just for right now.
You should do an hour 30 because of where it is. If I'm being
Uh,
completely honest with you.
I'll bring it down towards 1 hour and 22
45.
minutes.
Oh, that works too. That
I'll do 82, and then I'll lower it down later. I just want to make sure though, because it could easily make a jog back towards the west.
is true.
I try to overdo landfall timing, then underdo it,
Yeah,
just so I know the maximum amount of time.
for sure. It is looking like it's going to continue the northern jog though.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just see if there's any questions.
Yeah, I should have looked at that.
And then I'm gonna also look at someone else's stream. I think that there's this other guy who does streams, but I'm gonna see if he's still doing it. Uh,
Let's see. Any questions in the chat? I am looking right now. If you guys have any questions.
mhm. It doesn't. Okay. Uh. Okay. Very nice.
So those of you who are just tuning in, just another update here. Eric has jogged to the north based on satellite imagery. Right now, we have a kind of like a miniature spaghetti model here.
Yes.
Drone, drone. I should just I don't know something
Drawn.
like that.
Yeah.
Drawn, yeah. As it continues to move toward the north, which it had that northern jog now all of a sudden. So it looks like landfall could be within the next 30 minutes to an hour, but we're not trying to over predict that right now. But
Mm-hmm.
again, it could easily jog again to the west. That's why we have all those models there because we're not too sure. But over the past over the past hour, I was calling it's going to move to the north, and it has been doing so.
Yeah.
So we will see if it continues to go on that trend or if it makes another jog. As of right now, not too sure on that. But again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat, and I will read them off here as Chase is doing something.
Yes. I am making a post online, and I'll show it more of the flooding going on with the storm. Just trying to speed run a post about it. I did not see this earlier, and this is just the flooding in the province of Osaka.
Right. All right.
Okay, that should be it. Alright, now I'll show it on stream in a moment. Okay, so here's a look at some of the flooding shown. Or it's loading.
Of course, buffering.
Yes. Here's a look at some of the flooding shown in Osaka.
Wow.
See, of course, vehicles almost completely submerged in water. Of course, businesses taking on water. Again, you should not be out on the roads at this time.
Once again, as this is ongoing, you should be indoors. Do not be trying to help others right now during as this is making landfall.
Make sure people
There
are
are
indoors.
there are trained professionals who will handle that. Right now, you guys need to make sure everyone you know and love is indoors without
Do
you
not
being
be
in
out on
harm's
the
way.
roads.
Yep, that's for sure. Those people in those cars are a very bad example. Please do not be doing that.
Yes.
Let's
Okay, here's a
see.
look at the
Any
latest frames.
latest frames here? Let's see what we got.
Or that northern
North
jog.
Northern jog still
Yes.
speeding up too.
Yep. I'll take a look at the past hour in terms of its motion, how fast it's been moving. So it's roughly right there. And now it's roughly here. So yeah, you're right. It's roughly 19 kilometers an hour.
That means landfall probably
And
is
it's
going to
roughly
be
16 kilometers away from land almost.
about an hour,
Yes. So I'm going to
depending on if
keep
it does
this
make a
as
move.
of right
So
now.
keep
Yep.
that. Yep, that's perfect.
Yes. So we're getting closer and closer to landfall. Oh yeah, also the National Hurricane Center. I forget that they do updates at landfall. So
Oh yes, they
they'll
will
confirm
be.
landfall as well.
Yes, so we won't say for sure if it made landfall until we get that,
Exactly.
but it is very, very close.
Yep.
We should be getting that special update pretty soon.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Okay, so I'll try and pull up what this satellite imagery shows. This is the broad overview. Ooh, there's a nice burst off to the southeast. It's trying to recover. Kind of, I'd say, just on the southeastern side. Decent convection there. The banding still off to the west. It looks a little bit better than it did a while ago. Okay, I'll refresh this imagery.
Trying to regain composure, but it's too late.
Yes. Yeah, right there. Now it's starting to be, again, a solid core now that the banding's gone. But it looks like a new burst is starting to fire off to the west, right over here.
Yep.
Oh, never mind. That was only a brief flare up there. Yeah, it looks like it's making that northern jog now towards that Cordillera. Or just to the east of there.
Let's check. Yep, so
Um,
my northern jog prediction so far has been correct. I did
yes.
think it was after it did stall like that, and yes, it has. Usually they do make a northern jog after they stall.
Yes.
Again, this thing could still turn, but that means landfall would just be increased by like 15 minutes. Because at
Yeah.
this rate, it is speeding up, and it's very close to land.
Yes. Gaming with Trippin H says, is Erick the strongest hurricane to make landfall in Mexico in the month of June? Officially, it could be.
That is very well a possibility, yes, but we are not sure yet until it happens.
Yes, I'll search it up real quick off stream. Like, what is the strongest uh, hurricane to make landfall in the month of June in Mexico? And then I'll just see if there's any decent results or anything. It might have been Agatha. That was in 2022 as a Category 2 or 3 hurricane.
And this could very well break the
Yeah, so that could
record there
easily
then.
break the record if it makes landfall as a. Well, I mean, it depends because Agatha was likely 110, 115 miles an hour. If this weakens more down to new frames, but I mean, if it does weaken more down to like high end Cat 2 status or low end Cat 3 status, then it might tie the record. But here's the newest
It
frames of the
it
storm.
it looks like, I will say this right now, it
Mm-hmm.
does look like it is trying to regain composure, so it's probably
Yes,
going to be staying around the 140 range. It'll probably still be a Cat 4 nonetheless.
exactly.
But so this will probably be the most intense landfall in the month of June in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, to answer that question, we are not fully sure yet, but we believe it will be a yes.
Yes. Mappers of Kylan says, hi, I'm getting Otis and John flashbacks. I mean, it's been surprising that we've gotten now 3 major hurricanes targeting Mexico in 3 years.
Yeah, it's around the same place.
Yep. I don't remember exactly where John hit. I'll take a look at that. So can I place a marker or something here? Yeah, I'll just place a marker on where the storm's most likely to hit land. It's somewhere over here. So then I'll go looking at John, which happened last year. I think it was in September. Oh, whoops, let me add it.
It was like right before Milton.
Yes. So yeah, it hit just to the west by around. It was around 80 kilometers to the west, and then Otis
Not
happened
much of a
another
difference.
100 kilometers away. So it's roughly around 3 major hurricanes in a 200-kilometer wide area.
And that doesn't really make much of a difference when you consider the outer rain bands, since they're the deadliest
Exactly.
part of the one. So yes, these are 3 major hurricanes impacting nearly the same area in what, 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yes. Wait, I think that's where I showed. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure I
Oh
guess this
yeah,
okay.
it really is jogging north. This could be very, very shortly.
Yes. Oh, Gaming with Trippin H says Agatha was in the month of May though. It made landfall on May 30th. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Here, I'll take a look. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I'll look it
Thank
up.
you. Uh, Oh wait, I forget. There's this one website to do that. It's NOAA's. Forget that this is a website. I don't know if it does the month though.
Well, I looked it up, and they're saying that Erick is already forecast to be the strongest at landfall
Okay.
in June. So it says the strongest Pacific hurricane to make landfall in June was Hurricane Erick in 2025. So
Yeah.
it looks like it will be a record then.
Yes. I'm trying.
Again, I will make sure of this. I'm going to do more deeper research quick though, because I want to make
I
sure
have
that
this
this
up
is a
on
for sure
stream to
answer.
look at the strongest landfalls in Mexico, and I'll make sure it's. I don't think I can. I can't do by year. I don't think. Oh, months I can. That's nice. June. Oops, I set it back to Japan. Mexico. Okay, this website can be very finicky sometimes.
1996. 1996, the strongest storm was Hurricane Boris.
Okay.
June 11th, 1996, near Puerto
So,
Escondido,
hold on.
Oaxaca,
There's a
Category
couple
1.
more here. There's this storm right here, which made landfall with winds of 90 knots. Alma, 1996.
Alma was stronger.
Yep. And then there's this storm over here, Agatha, 2022. Oh, it still says June just because it's over there. But hold on. I am going to actually make sure. Did that happen in June, or when did that happen? That happened June 24th, 1996 was Alma, 90 knots. And then there's one more that made landfall. This one was Carlota. This happened June 16th. This was 90 knots as well. So the record's 90 knots. And it's tied with two storms, it seems like.
So 90 knots.
So this would be the strongest landfalling hurricane in the month of June in Mexico.
Yes, if the Category 4 withholds.
Yes.
Which, I think, how close are we to landfall now?
We should be around an hour. Oops. Just over an hour, maybe. It should be around an hour or less.
Based on satellite.
Mm-hmm. Can I do Eastern Pacific? I'm curious what's the... Okay, I don't know. How do we do basin? Oh, I can do... Ooh, polygon search. That's nice. So here, I'll take a look at what the strongest, like, since we were wondering about the rapid intensification record. This is really nice. I didn't realize that I can do a custom polygon thing. And then, what, do I click? What's this? The month of June, so there's been a lot of major hurricanes here. There's even been 2 Category 5s in the month of June.
Yeah.
It's hard to see. I mean, there's 27 major hurricanes in the month of June in the Eastern Pacific, so... I'm not sure about earliest rapid intensification. Curious if I can... I can't really do dates. It doesn't let me.
That sucks.
Yes. Here I can see, Barbara intensified from, let's see, this was 135 knots at 0Z then, 80 knots then. So that was a 55 knot increase. That's not enough. A bunch of these hurricanes didn't seem to really rapidly intensify as fast. This one might have, Aleda, 120 knots at 12Z, 55 knots then. So that's 55, 120. Sorry, I have to do some math. That's 65 knot increase. This was still higher.
Yeah. It looks like Alma, it says Alma's the highest right now with 65 miles per hour, 40 to 105 in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, 18Z there. 65 to 125. Again, that's only 55 knots. This might be the record. This storm... That's not going to be it. Not that.
65.
Not that.
Yep, so 65 miles per hour is the record for Alma.
Wow. Not that storm. Not that storm. I'm just looking at their tracks to help me determine what would be the quickest rapid intensive, or like strong most, or whatever it's called, the fastest rapid intensification. This Douglas storm might be it. I don't think so though. This was 115 knots, 12Z, 60 knots there. No, that's not going to be enough. And then the last bunch, not that storm. Yeah, I really think that this is the. Yeah, I believe that this is the fastest, or the highest amount of rapid intensification in the month of June in this basin. That's quite impressive. Oh, well, we are very close. Look at that.
Let's see. It looks like it's starting to jog more to the north-northwest now, too.
Yes, so it's even closer now. So I'll decrease landfall by about 15 minutes. So I'll get that down.
Looks
Instead
like
of 64, I'll do 47. Or
I think it's Karama or whatever. I think that city's directly in the path now.
mm-hmm.
Look at the eye, anyway, it looks like.
Yes. Okay. I think this is the right amount of time. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do another estimate once this hits, or once the newer frames start loading, like in the next 10 minutes or so. I'll do another trajectory mapping, but currently it looks to be around. I don't know where exactly the center is. I'm guessing it's somewhere here. It looks like it's around 14 kilometers away from land.
As of right now, yes.
Yes. And in terms of movement in the past hour, it seems to have moved roughly, around 20 kilometers in the past hour almost.
Damn. Things have been moving. Moving along.
Yes.
I knew it was going to move north, and then it was probably going to do a jog to the north-northwest, which I think...
Binky
actually, it might be the eye might be just be opening on the other side here.
Yes. I mean, it looks like that the center of the eye is now more apparently over here. Somewhere, so it does look like it is going to target oh god, I don't remember the name.
I don't either. Corlero, yep, there it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we got
Yep,
four
so
new
it does look like...
frames here.
Yep, Corlero looks like it's directly in the path of the eye now.
Mm-hmm. Binky Bonk 12 says, "What website is that? What website are you asking for?" And yes, we do check the chat.
Probably asking for the one of the satellite. Are you asking for the one of what we have right now, or where we're seeing?
Is it the satellite? Is it the storm history? What are you asking for?
Oh, the hurricane tracks.
Did they say
historical?
That?
The historical hurricane tracks.
This
historical
one is
hurricane
called
tracks.
coast.noaa.gov/hurricanes. If you search
if
up
you want
NOAA historical hurricane tracks, you should find it. NOAA.
This is what I search up. Mm-hmm. This is what I search up, and I find it every time.
Okay, nice.
It should be the first thing you see.
Also, we should be able to see the earliest D-name storm, actually. If we just go month of... I think so. Or no, I think that this would be very difficult to find. Or no, actually it wouldn't. All I need to do is search for D-name storms. Dolores, that happened June 17th.
Dude, I should be a mod for your channel now that I do these streams with you.
Yeah.
Could you do that real quick so actually people will pay attention to my messages?
Do you send your messages in there?
Yeah, I just sent one. Remember the hurricane thing?
Let me see. I think that there's a way to do it. Whoops. Okay, I almost clicked put user in timeout. There you go. Add as moderator.
What did I do? Let's see.
There we go. Now see if it works.
I'm gonna see if I have any updates from the NAC quick. Nope, nothing. Not
Okay.
yet. Let's see. Nope. Oh wait, yep. There we go. Got it.
Nice. Here's see what
Hog.
the earliest F name storm is. I don't know if
Oh yeah.
F storm ever formed in June. Just going through this whole list of storms.
I don't think there ever has been. No.
Uh, not until at least the 1990s.
I asked ChatGPT about the fastest rapid intensification in the East Pack, and it's gathering 10 sources right now. I did deep research.
Oh, nice.
So let's see if this will actually give me accurate data here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tried looking it up on Google. Obviously, they don't have it listed down, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But apparently, Erick is probably going to be the
Okay,
strongest.
so there's never been an F storm in the Eastern Pacific in the month of June.
We could possibly have that with the current GFS ensembles.
Yeah, I mean we have a lot of days. We have over 10 days for this to happen, so we could easily break that record as well.
We'll definitely see. I think, isn't there a disturbance right now as well?
In the Eastern Pacific?
Yeah.
I didn't think so. No, there's not.
Okay, I thought there was for a minute.
Nope. I'll probably mark one or like later tonight.
Oh yeah, I know you have your own.
Yes.
You mark
I'm gonna
disturbance.
look outside.
I think there is a high chance for development in that region that Erick formed.
I don't think it's high. I'd mark it as a low chance, most likely. And the NHC should mark it as well, probably within the next day. Okay, also, I'm looking outside and I'm seeing that in real life the color is changing of the sky, for me at least. Sunrise is in 29 minutes for me. Wow. Okay.
Uh,
And then sunrise for this area, I'll check what time it is.
oh, of course, you sound like a chipmunk.
Oh no, I'm glitching out. Okay. What about now?
Why are you speaking so fast?
Oh no. Okay, testing. Do I sound good now?
You sound better. You just cut out though.
Okay, how about now? Am I fine?
You sounded like Alvin.
Yes.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. So I'm gonna look at their
You
sunrise
sounded like
time.
Alvin the chipmunk.
Wow. Okay.
You did. Like, I'm dead
I
serious.
believe it. So sunrise time.
All right, let's
where's
see.
the I'll check out their sunrise time so that way we know better. Seems like it isn't until 8:10ish or yeah, okay, 8 o'clock. And right now it's going to be another 2 hours or so before their sunrise. It's probably going to make landfall by then.
So landfall probably already happened. Yeah.
Okay, here it's loading the latest imagery. Here's where it's located at now.
All right, let's see.
So it seems like it's going now more of that central trajectory there.
Yeah, right towards.
Corollaro.
God dang it.
Yes.
Corollaro. Yep.
Yep. And you
Right
see
towards
the
Corollaro,
south
and
side
this
looks
is
a lot more solid now. And you can see that eastern side of the
Yep,
eyeball wrapping
so I
around
think-
now.
This thing is trying to re-strengthen too. That's crazy.
I don't think it's trying to re-strengthen.
It could very well be a Cat 4 then. Oh, you're not trying to re-strengthen, but maintains intensity of a Cat 4.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a look at its movement now over the
So-
past hour or so. So it's moved roughly around 23 kilometers, possibly in the past hour, and that's its current trajectory.
An
It
hour
keeps
ago
doing
is
it.
when an hour ago is where we were tracking it.
Yes. So I'll finish that, and also, oh wait, I'll clear everything else as well. I'll clear all. So now I can do a better kind of spaghetti model thing, as you call it.
Well, yeah, because it technically is.
Yeah.
There we go.
I like that, I'd say. And then going more over here, if it went due north, it'd most likely be in around 13 kilometers until that landfall. Then I'll look at its continued track, which would put it right. I'll draw it all the way up until here. Right there-ish.
Make possibly two landfalls.
Yeah, if it went towards Corlero. Over here it'd be around
Yep.
18 kilometers, and then if it went more towards the west, it'd be 35 kilometers away. So that's its current trajectory. It could
Looks
be
like it is
35
going.
kilometers, it could be 14, it could be 24. Mainly 14, 24, 34 kilometers away from landfall.
I think it's the 24.
Yep. I am reloading the satellite. Oh, I got the pixel thing. Oh no. I used too much data or whatever.
Well, he broke it, ladies and gentlemen. We're screwed. We can't track it anymore.
I mean, we can, it's just it's gonna have that watermark on it.
Ah,
I think it will. Yeah, I mean, some of the frames look to have the watermark on them. That's fine. I think it
of
still
course, there's gonna be
shows
a
that it's
watermark. There's always a watermark on it.
Yep.
There's always a watermark on absolutely everything.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna do an important thing and check the chat.
Yep. Oh, someone asked. Also, what's the satellite website? I'm just using Tropical Tidbits. This one's called Real Earth. This is a little bit more complicated. I'd say Tropical Tidbits
Yeah.
is a much easier one to use, but this is very high resolution. It's a bit complicated trying to fiddle with
Yeah,
the settings stuff.
this one is a lot harder to use. I mean, it took him a while to load this.
Yes. So, yeah, you can see the watermark now just flashing up on screen.
Fun.
Yeah, but overall, though,
Looks
we
like it's
can
going
see that.
directly towards Calero.
Yep. So it should make
Let's see if
landfall
it's in
within the
the.
next maybe 36 minutes or so. That's possible.
Let's see.
Oops. Yeah, I don't think it's 120 knots at this time, but it's probably uh, still a major hurricane. And of course, those along the coast need to be treating it as such. It's looking a bit better
Yep.
now.
Corlero is in the direct path at the moment of Erick here, and the I is actually pretty pronounced now.
This, and a very strong thunderstorm is happening off towards the west near Marquilia.
Yes, that is very intense thunderstorm over there.
Yes, unfortunately, it is over land and it's probably stalling a bit. Yeah, like over the past hour or so, it's been just stalling.
That's not good. It's just dumping rain all over this.
Yes.
Uh,
Unfortunately, we don't really have radar. If I pull up its over here. If I go towards radar, we should be able to see some of the other surrounding areas for radar, but not the storm itself, I don't think. Nope.
I myself have a weather app where I check future track. I'll check
Yeah.
future track on one of my radars, and it just shows radar all over. So I'm gonna see if I can see what it looks like on future.
Yeah.
For now, for 509,
Mm-hmm.
actually, so a couple minutes from now,
I'll take a look at
looks
the
like the
temperature
heaviest
here.
rain.
It's risen a bit.
Oh dang!
So it's been the highest it's been for
Yes.
roughly 2 hours.
Oh goodness gracious! Okay, so a lot of the intense rain looks like it's gonna be over near Tutuipec or Tutuipec. I think that's how you say it.
I think I saw that place earlier. Okay, that's off towards the east. That's over here.
Yep. So like we said earlier, Colorado's gonna get the eye, and
60
then
kilometers off to the east.
Tutulupec is gonna get the storm surge. Colorado would have gotten the storm surge if the eye was to the
More to the east.
other side. Yeah, to the
Yep.
more to the east. It would have gotten the storm surge, but
Yep. We can see, though, that the storm is likely battering Latuza over here with its eye wall. Really strong winds, likely in the major
Yes.
hurricane range.
could possibly be up to sustained winds of 130 plus miles per hour.
Yes. That'd be upwards of like 200 plus kilometers an hour.
These that's if this does maintain major hurricane status with how it looks right now. I think they're going to maintain Category 4.
Yes. On here, I don't know if there's any new imagery. Okay, roughly the last 5 frames. Oh wait, now it's getting newer frames. Over here. I'm loading them in manually, so that way we can see them. Yeah, we got like 9 new frames since it's been a bit. Yeah, here's a look at it.
Let's see.
Continuing that current.
Still moving in that the middle one. Yep.
Yep. And this imagery's
Calero right in the path here.
Yep. So looking at where it was around this time an hour ago.
I'm definitely making a track animation of this.
Yes.
Oh, I shouldn't say that now. Sorry. Off topic. But yes, you, all of you. I don't know if we have any listeners in Calero or nearby areas, but if we do, make sure you are in that sturdy structure because you are getting the eye wall winds right now.
Yes. It's roughly around 8 kilometers.
And then you'll have a brief
from
period
land.
where. You'll have a brief period too once the eye is over you where it'll be calm. It'll be calm for a little bit once you're in the eye, but after that you're gonna get the back end of the eye wall, and that's where the strongest winds are.
Yes.
Yep, don't be caught off guard. Stay in that interior room. Make sure you are above ground, second floor, attic, whatever you can that's substantial. Make sure, hopefully you have a second floor bathroom. I do in my house. But say like a second floor bathroom, if you have a bathtub, stay away from windows. Avoid extreme winds, flood waters, anything like that.
Outside.
Stay put where you are until the storm passes.
Yeah.
Please don't be like those people we saw on the video.
I'll show it again here. This video of people out in floodwaters.
Never a good idea, especially if you're in the car. Like, there was a guy just sitting in the car. Yeah, like right here.
It's not smart to be out.
Not just that, but you'll see a guy in an SUV. I think it's this one, where the guy's just sitting there. Yeah, like,
Yep.
dude.
And driving in a truck
Dude.
through these waters. is especially going to be happening in those bands towards the west of the center right now. These are likely the
Yep.
conditions they're experiencing.
I say Chase knows this better than anyone. He was in the eye of Hurricane Helene last year, so he would know
Yes.
what a Category 4 looks like.
Yes, very strong winds. Especially over here off towards the eastern side because you have that forward motion as well. So it's not just that the eastern side is
Yes, that's for sure.
the most well built, it's also where the storm's moving. It adds on that wind as well.
The back end of the eye wall.
Yep.
The back end of the eye wall looks like to also be where the stronger winds are as well. So you might have peace for a little bit in the eye, but that back end of the eye wall is going to be fierce.
Yep. All in
You ready
here
for
are
it?
the strong winds. Oh, whoops! Why did I do that? I
Yep.
forget that I need to delete everything. That's fine.
That's exactly what hits you though, because when you were in Helene,
Yes.
was the eastern side of the eye wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly where the worst winds are. So, but again, since the eye is heading directly towards Calero at this point, you are going to get the back end of the eye wall, which is even stronger winds.
Yep. Here, I'm gonna delete
As
everything.
always, the east and south side of the eye wall is the worst one.
Yep. I'll just put my own like custom, I guess, extreme wind warning here, where I think that the strongest winds would occur. Right in here, I'd say.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
This. Right in here should be getting the strongest
Extreme wind
winds of the
warning.
storm. Is my mic okay? Still?
Yep.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure I moved a bit.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme wind warning. Yep, that's perfect. I like
Probably
that.
unofficial, of course. And then I'll try and draw.
Yes,
There.
unofficial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if Mexico issues these warnings,
I
but
don't think they
again,
do.
this is what an extreme wind warning would look like. They would say Doppler radar indicated extreme winds associated with the eye wall of say hurricane
More so satellite imagery.
Erick. Right. Moving onshore.
Yes.
So this again, these are probably winds in excess of 100. We know for sure it's in excess of 115. It could very well be in excess of 130 miles an hour. We are not completely sure on that estimate right now, but when it makes landfall, we'll get a for sure estimate from the NHC.
Yes. And
But
here's
it
a
is
look at the
still
latest
treat
imagery.
this as a Category 4. Still treat this as a Category 4, especially because it's been kind of rebounding a little bit. So, again, this is still probably a Cat 4.
Yes. But here's a look at the latest imagery of the storm getting very close to land. And of course, that land interaction is starting to affect the storm's eye. Here,
Yep, because it's so very close. The eye is starting to shrivel up a little bit.
I'm going to delete that just because it's hard seeing things with that in the way. But yeah, I mean, it looks like that the coastline may be curving it off towards the west side slightly. It's hard
it's
telling
gonna be like
what
directly
it's doing
over
now.
Calero area.
Yep. But I mean, it's just that the storm doesn't want to move over the mountainous terrain. So that's why it's starting to close off its eastern eye.
Yep.
What does this look like on here? I'll refresh this. This is not up to date. Yeah, I'm not so sure what it's... Okay, there we go. I'm not sure what it's doing right now. It looks like that the western side is starting to get a new vertical heat tower, this little convective burst over here. The eastern side... I'm not sure where exactly the center is. In the storm, it's probably right over here, just east of where the eye's the warmest. Just that, of course, as the storm gets closer and closer to land, that eye is going to start closing off. So it got
Yeah, based off satellite imagery, I'm looking at the eye is like right next to land here. Landfall is probably going to be very shortly.
Yes. Likely within the next 25 minutes or so.
I had a feeling it was going to do the northern jog and make landfall earlier than what they said, and
Yeah.
looks like it was right.
As for comparison, the storm is likely by, I think it's here. I'll double check. Yeah, it's up there. So it is still in the cone up there. It's likely hitting, oh, I can't circle it, but here, which is around, roughly around 8 kilometers east of the NHE cone. But yeah, it has shifted, it did shift west earlier, and that's why it ultimately ended up here.
Oh, wait, hold up. Let me see what we got here. 70 knot change in 24 hours.
Oh yeah, I wanted to pull up its current.
Say Hurricane Amanda. Amanda in 2014 is currently, looks like the earliest explosive intensification
Wow. Okay.
and strongest too.
Mm-hmm.
70
Look at its current
knots in 24 hours.
Right now, looking at wind shear, as you can see here, it's very low. Shear's only around 5 knots in the center. So it's very favorable as it has an anticyclone above it there, so it is very favorable. Mid-level shear is also quite low, that's why the eye has been able to mostly stay clear. Ooh, we had an ASCAT pass. Of course, now we do. But I'll take a look at that since that will show some good information about the storm's wind field. There it is. Wow, okay. Of course, very strong winds on that. It's very tight, confined to the center of the storm. Yep. Okay. And then also just besides the wind shear, there's also the so I'm gonna pull up the sea surface temperatures. Easily 30 degrees Celsius here, where it's tracking along.
Without them, they're kind of screwed.
Yes.
Mainly due to the fact that overland is drier.
Yep. And that eye temperature, I'll refresh this, continuing to rise to around minus 60 degrees Celsius. This is around the warmest it's been in over 3 hours.
Wow.
Yep. Let's see if there's any post from iCyclone, the chaser. 1 minute ago, he made a new post saying, in the heart of San Jose Estancia Grande, that's, I'll point out the area again. I think it was in here. I'll type it in again. Here it is. It's right over here, so yeah, right past Coralero. So it looks like he will get impacts from it. And he said, heavy rain but very little wind. The mountains are playing games with surface circulation. So yeah, very low wind over there, even though he's so close to the center of the storm. Or the edge of the storm. Also,
Is right about there.
Yeah, it's right about there. I'm looking at it.
Yep.
No advisory yet.
Okay, no update yet.
Keep an eye out for that, because the advisory is when it's officially making landfall.
Yes. Their next scheduled advisory would be in around 90 minutes or so, I think, right? Yeah. 90 minutes or so, but they should issue one earlier talking about landfall. Or just an update.
Yep, when landfall happens here.
Here's the latest imagery. While it does look like it's making a westward jog, that's likely not the case. It's just that the western side of the eye is starting to open up and be exposed.
Yep, it does look like it is doing a western jog, but I think it's still moving right towards.
It's moved almost 30 kilometers in the past, like over 30 kilometers in the past hour. So yeah, it should make landfall fairly soon.
Like the next 30.
It's roughly 7 to 12 kilometers away, and this was 6 minutes ago. So I think landfall within 18 minutes is a good estimate.
Yeah, I think so.
Because yeah, part of the eyes already, or like part of those lower cloud top temperatures are already reaching the coast now. Of course, this part right here is not the eye, it's just that it's exposed. The eye wall there's trying to wrap around it. Okay, we have 4 new frames. Let's take a look at them. Ooh, can even see the eye just on this imagery. From how warm that eye temperature is getting now.
Let me check the.
Whoops.
Closing in.
Yes. Oops, let me do this.
Yep, no official landfall advisory yet. Not surprising.
Yep.
We're very close though.
Yes, it looks like it has made that a little bit of a westward jog though. Not a whole lot. Again, should see a landfall within the next 17 minutes.
It does look like it did make kind of a westward jog, but it kind of looks like it's moving straight north.
Yeah, kind of. Just that looks like the eastern side of that.
According to the way the eye wall is moving.
Yep. Storm Chaser M is in the chat. They said, let me pull up the satellite or where these places are located at. They said official landfall should either be De La Garrocha or El Potrero. I don't know where those places are. Are they?
Yep. El Potrero or Pesa de la Garrocha. I think the official landfall is going to be very close to Corella.
Yep. I'll search
Corlero,
up the places they're talking about.
Corlero.
Paso de la Garrocha. It didn't allow me to.
And if you have any questions, you can.
Yes.
If you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat. Me and Chase will get to them when we see them.
Yep. Whoops, that is not a place on here. Okay. Let me zoom out. Where the heck did I go? Okay.
Also, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We do live streams like this in order to, keep live track of storms and keep people safe.
Yep.
So help us out. We'll help you out.
Yes.
Help us help you.
We're doing it in the middle of the night.
We love doing what we do.
Yes.
We love doing what we do. We've been up since what? He's been up since like 3 a.m. I've been up all night. So
Yep.
Again, we bring this live
do our
coverage
best
just for you.
Help
So,
you all.
of course, we do what we can.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it looks like Eric is very, very close. We could see it within the next 15 to 20 minutes, and
Yes.
we'll see when the NHC posts the official landfall. I'll keep my
Yep.
eye out here on it.
Yes, thank you.
Still the 3 a.m. one.
Yes.
Maximum sustained winds still 140.
Mm-hmm. Binky Bunk says it's 8:30 p.m. where I am. Where are you, Binky Bunk? Because I'm in the United States and Florida. Sharkius is in the United States and I think Minnesota. Am I right on that?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
Good. So yeah, we're in the United States.
So I am an hour behind you. So
Mm-hmm.
yep. So you are 6:30 a.m. I'm 5:30 a.m.
Yep. For me, the sun has risen.
8:30 p.m. Could be either NSW.
Oh, where's that?
Sorry, where's that? I don't know the
Sorry,
abbreviation for
where's
that.
So yeah, it has to be on the other side of the world. New South Wales.
New South
Okay.
Wales. Oh, so not
That's
the
in
UK.
Australia. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Oh, Australia.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm not that familiar with that. Nice. That's cool.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And we have people from all across the world watching.
Australian viewer.
Oh wait, Binky
Thank
Bonk,
you for
why
supporting.
are you joining the
Really
stream? I'm just
appreciate it.
curious. Is it from that storm that happened
Yeah.
in I think it was Alfred? Or are you just a typical cyclone tracker?
Always curious on where
Mm-hmm.
people always chime in from.
Yes. Okay.
See if the NHC posted anything. Still nothing at the moment.
Yeah. Didn't say anything yet. Okay. Ooh, weather in 2D is also in New South Wales. Well, okay.
Dang.
So we got two people.
Well, welcome.
Yes. Okay, looks like we got a couple new frames to look at.
All right. I don't think it made landfall directly, but it's super close, I bet. Super close.
I'll close out of that imagery.
I have not seen an NHC update yet.
Yeah.
Still watching that.
I'm not so sure if that's a western jog or what's happening with the storm. Yeah, I'm kind of confused as to where the center is because this side should be the western eye wall. I feel like it's just that the coastline is playing games with us. I think that
very well could be
in here.
Yeah, the eye's kind of been messing around here.
Just because it's so close to land right now.
See if I can.
Weather in 2D says, has it made landfall yet? Not yet. It should make landfall within the next 10-15 minutes. Yeah, I forget though that
It looks like it is making
Mhm.
a jog right now at the moment, but we are not certain.
Yeah. Also, I noticed though
The
that
eye
my
could very
thing
well be
here. Mhm.
more to the west.
What were you
Could
saying?
take a little bit longer for landfall, but we are not sure.
Yeah, it could be wobbling towards the
They could
west.
be making a jog. Yep, just a little bit more to the west here, if so. But we'll see. It looks like it could be, but the eye could be playing tricks on us here.
Mm-hmm. Also, I noticed though that on my stream it says like time until next landfall. I do that just because some storms make multiple landfalls, so I try and make sure people know that this is the next landfall. This would be the first landfall for the storm.
It could very well make two if it makes
Yes.
landfall where we think it's going to make landfall.
Yeah, that is true. Has the sun risen for you yet?
Let's see here. For me? Yep.
Yes. Wait, is it lagging that badly? Did it take that long? You're like, can you hear what I'm saying now?
No. I was just looking at the advisory. I was
Okay. All right. All
confused.
right.
I was trying to see if it updated or not, but it's
Mm-hmm.
still the 3 a.m. one.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, it is late.
Okay. Nice.
Gotta love the summertime. 5:36 a.m. and the sun's already out.
Yes.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I know in Australia right now it's winter down there.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So
How cold is it for you guys there? Weather 2D and Binky Bonk, if you guys are still in here, how cold is it for you guys down there?
Yep.
Just out of curiosity.
Wolf3 joined the chat as well, says hello. Hi, I am joined by Sharkius to help me cover this storm. Erick.
Hello.
Landfall in Mexico.
I'm gonna check. Hello, Wolf3. Thank you for tuning in here. Yeah, I know I always say that when I enter a stream because I mistype. Anyways, don't feel self conscious about it. I do it all the time.
Yep.
17 degrees Celsius average
Okay.
daytime temp.
Alright, so that's.
So around.
What is that in Fahrenheit?
Jesus, I gotta try and think that in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Freak. I'll look it up.
Okay.
I know they use different from what we do, so.
Yes.
64 degrees, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Dang.
Also, wow, the
I'm
sun
guessing,
is doing very well off towards
you
the
guys
west.
aren't gonna get that cold. Usually, because when it's summer for us, it's winter for them.
Yeah.
During their winter time is the summer months for us.
Yep. I mean, it's just starting for them, though, right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of like fallish winter, yeah.
Yeah. But that's thunderstorm off towards the west is doing very well. Right now, still bursting up. So yeah, flooding.
Yeah.
A lot of lightning activity. Looks to be mostly moving
Still, that's
away,
been
though, from
persistent.
land. There's still though heavy rain.
It's been persistent.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the core of the storm might move very close to those areas that have been inundated. 09M says, I'm back after a
no
while and
advisory
you're
yet.
still live. Wow, you're a great weather reporter, Chase. Thank you. And Sharkius is still with me after so long. This has been, how many hours? This has been like 2.5 hours. Sharkius has done an amazing job as a commentator. Also, congratulate him. Yes.
Thanks, Chase.
Of course.
I think, honestly, it's been teamwork through this.
Exactly. Teamwork makes the dream.
Live us, like, we both woke up for this. I've been up all night because I thought, Chase might need help, and I was, like, working on I'm making an Atlantic hurricane simulator on Roblox, and then I was like,
Nice.
oh, well, Erick's getting stronger and approaching landfall. Chase is going to wake up soon, so I thought might as well just stay up all night. So
Yep.
I pulled an all-nighter just so we can track this, and we're very close. The Cat 4 one?
Yeah, did you see that come out live? Like, you heard about it live, or did you? Or did you, like...
Oh, yeah, I heard about it. Like, as soon as it came out, I got it sent from a friend, yeah.
Yeah. I was not up for that, so when I woke up...
I was in the middle of working on the game. I was in the middle of working on the game, and I got a ping saying that it was a Cat 4. I'm like, oh, dear God.
Yeah.
It's very, very unexpected, but...
Oh.
Still no advisory. Is it jogging?
Job, and then Nibia says, you've both been doing great. Thank you all for the kind words.
Yes, thank you all. It's been one heck of a night, that's for sure.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in, all of you. We really appreciate the support.
Ooh, we got 5 new frames here. Let's take a look. We're getting very
Take a
close
second to load,
landfall. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, it might come very shortly. It's in 5 minutes, maybe. 5 minutes around, so let's see.
Yes. Storm Chaser M says, I've been up since 1 a.m. tracking. Well, Chase should know this. I was going off in the Discord for the past 24 hours. Are you saying 1 a.m. like today 1 a.m.? Because I saw you were yapping about the storm since like 7 a.m. or I don't know when, like noonish or whatever yesterday, and then still doing it when I went to sleep at 8 p.m. And then I see you're up and I'm like, oh wow.
Let's see. Your timer says 2 minutes. You might want to put like very soon if you want.
I'll declare landfall then.
We're not very specific on that.
Personally, I think it's made landfall by then. This imagery is slightly out of date, so this is like almost this would be 10 minutes before landfall time. So I think it. Here's 10 minutes before. Here's now. It should be making its first landfall by then.
I will make sure I keep tracking the NAC advisory. Let's see if it pops up here.
Yep.
Either pop up on update or public.
Okay, we got 5 new frames that have loaded.
Yep, still nothing. Still nothing yet on advisories.
And to me, that looks like a pretty clear landfall. I'll mark it in the 2 minutes.
Let's see. Yeah, I think it's pretty close. If not, made landfall. So, probably see the update out here in just a couple minutes. I'll keep an eye out here.
So I'll get ready to declare it. Sharkies, you don't know this, but whenever there's a major hurricane landfall, I play a sound effect for it.
Oh, God.
Nope. It's just the landfall sound effects from my animations.
Well, it's a Cat 4, so you gotta play the Cat 4
I'm
one.
gonna do Cat 3, just due to unofficial analysis.
I hate you. Just kidding.
Alright, and this should be right about now. There we go. Okay, so Hurricane Erick has made landfall as a major hurricane near Coralero in Mexico, in Oaxaca. States with winds of likely 100 to 110 knots. That will be later reassessed and reanalysis. It could have been even stronger. According to the National Hurricane Center, they'll probably go 110, 115 knots. And it looks like that the storm's going to make another landfall, maybe within the next 5 minutes, so I'm going to set that up. I'll set that up for, let's say in another 4 minutes or so, it's probably going to make another landfall.
So there's something no like that here. Let's see, advisory. Nothing yet. Keeping my eye out here. I'm gonna refresh the app just to make sure. I have an app where it gives me the most immediate advisories. So.
I don't think I'm seeing anything on Twitter yet from them.
Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing yet. Looks like it almost just made a second landfall. It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's very close. Probably within the next 4 minutes, going to make that next landfall.
Just a very small one.
Yes.
They've still not said anything on landfall.
Okay. So give it about another 3 minutes, then we should get our next landfall. Yep, just a panhandle, more so peninsula. It's there. I mean, it's kind of weird. On this imagery, it doesn't look as a... I mean, this imagery looks like a peninsula. Over here, it's more so just a bunch of rivers. Or intercoastal areas. It's probably just made one landfall, but I'll count it as 2 in this stream.
We'll find out for sure later on. Have not updated it yet. Still 3 a.m. as of 3 a.m. Central Time.
They're either gonna do it in the next like 13 minutes. It could be a random minute, or they're gonna just do it at the end of the hour.
They should probably do it as soon as it actually makes landfall. Because according to, I think honestly it already did, but.
Yeah.
The eye is kind of falling apart, unfortunately, which doesn't help.
Yeah, so within the next 90 seconds...
Alright, well, I'm waiting on this advisory. I'm going to check on the comments since I'm looking at this advisory. Let's see, probably... Yeah, it is a very weird storm. You're right about that. Looks like the eye is, like, falling apart as soon as it makes landfall, so it's kind of hard to, like, completely determine what time it's making landfall at. But
yes.
So far, we've declared one landfall in our stream. The NHC has not made their advisory on it yet, but I'm actively looking.
Yep. Oops. Okay. And here I'm getting ready to declare the next landfall. And that should be the final landfall of the storm. Yeah, I mean, that looks like landfall to me. So I'm getting ready to play it.
That's up to your analysis.
And oops, sorry, I did it twice, my bad. But yeah, we now have landfall
Yeah,
likely in Cordillera in from Hurricane Erick, which is likely a Category 3 major hurricane. It should begin to gradually weaken as it moves farther inland. But those impacts of that heavy core of heavy rain will continue pushing further west, northwest, impacting areas that have already been impacted by this band of very heavy rain. No update?
nothing.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing any update just yet. Nothing from the NHC.
Got my eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
I am very well positive that it has made landfall, so
Yes, because this imagery is also roughly 5
I'm
minutes
sure
out of
they
date,
will.
so.
It is probably very well certain that this thing has made landfall, so they will post it very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
At this rate, it looks like they will be doing it at the top of the hour. It is 5:52 a.m. Central Time, so we could see in the next 8 minutes, maybe sooner. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so probably within the next 8 minutes, the Hurricane Center will post their update then. They're probably just waiting for the end of the hour. So about that eye temperature, I'll pull it up on here. Now the eye temperature has raised above the minus 60 degrees Celsius range.
Should start dropping now.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that looks clearly like a landfall. Again, unfortunately, we don't have radar data, but we do have satellite, and thankfully, this is minute by minute updates. It's just around 3 minutes old. 3 minutes out of date.
Still not. Nope.
Still nothing?
Still nothing.
Okay.
They very well will be making the post probably at the top of the hour, is my guess.
Mm-hmm. Also, this storm has been moving faster than forecasted, like you were saying. The center's roughly Here, I'll double check. I think it is at least. Yeah, it's basically around 20 kilometers away from where where it was forecasted to be at this time.
Yeah, when it stalled and I saw it was gonna make the jog north, I'm like, yeah, that thing's gonna be moving a lot faster. That thing's gonna make
Yes.
landfall faster than I thought. And I was like, saw the jog north, and I'm like, okay, then if it's gonna jog north, then it's gonna make landfall, whether in the next hour to 2 to 3 hours, because it won't even jog or it won't even ditch the coastline. It's gonna head right for it,
Yeah.
and it did.
Yep. Okay, we got new images.
Due to how the eye looks right there,
Oh, yeah. Oops, let me.
I think that's an almost definite landfall at this point.
Yeah.
At that point, that is a near definite landfall.
Yep.
Let's
Okay,
see. Come on,
5
NHC.
minutes until the end of the hour.
Most likely. Yeah, still no update.
Hmm.
Just to reiterate, Erick slammed into the coast
Corollary.
of Mexico, bringing, in near Colorado, bringing extremely destructive winds near its core. Maximum sustained winds were estimated at 140 miles an hour, 220 kilometers an hour, and the central pressure of 940 millibars.
That was 2 hours ago.
This is according to NHC, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So this data is according to the NHC, and according to Mr. Chase here, he says it is around 110 knots, right?
Yes. 100 to 110 knots. Somewhere in that range.
Yep. So that's around a high-end Cat 3. So that's why he played the Cat 3 landfall noise.
Yep.
Again, that is not official analysis, but again, to those of you who are in the affected areas right now, treat this as the Cat 4. Just remember, this is his analysis.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean you should treat it as a Cat 3. Treat it as a
Here,
Cat 4. Treat it as whatever.
I'll display it on here. I think it will be this imagery that shows it. Yeah, look at that. That banding completely broke the southwestern side of the eye wall.
Damn.
Which, I mean, we
Think my
figured-
weight weakened even more before it. Well, yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna definitely destroy something of it. The structure, it lost most of its structure.
Yeah. So it's probably a low-end major hurricane. It's probably around 100 knots at this time then. Since it's making landfall 3 hours after this image, so it's likely deteriorated more. Maybe. We saw earlier, though, that the...
Then it did try.
Exactly.
The
Tried
eye
to
was
wrap
trying to make a
around.
comeback, and it was getting warmer again. So it very well could be a mid to high end Cat 3 according to reanalysis. But again, that does not matter right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing
Treat this
that the
as
Hurricane Center
a
will go
Category
Cat
4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the Hurricane Center will probably go Cat 4. I'm guessing 130, but we'll see.
Yes.
Still no update yet, but again, we got 2 minutes till the top of the hour, so we probably will see it around then.
Mm-hmm. They should release it right as the hour hits, most likely. If not, then we'll just start getting ready to wrap up the stream.
All right, less than a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Hopefully that.
Yep, I'm just refreshing their Twitter page. And in the meantime, we've gotten 5 new frames, so we can see where the center of the storm's likely located now. When it loads. Here's what it looks like right now. So it looks like it's most likely inland at this point. Just barely. It's probably hugging the coast.
Yeah, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are at the top of the hour. Let's take a look. Nothing yet.
Okay, so I'll probably stop the stream within the next 5 minutes.
Yep. So we'll give it 5 minutes. We'll see if we get the post. If not,
Mhm.
we're just gonna wrap
Yep.
things up.
So for right now, I'm just gonna go over the general thing of the tropics. You let me know if the update comes out, okay?
Yep.
Thank you. So looking at the world of tropics from least threatening to most threatening, we'll start off at the Eastern Pacific, and we'll go to this other area of interest that may try and develop over the next 7 days. Euro ensembles show low to moderate confidence and maybe even the potential for a secondary system to develop behind that. American ensembles that are just coming out are showing the same exact kind of scenario. There may be two different areas that a system could form in. It's more southwest of where Erick formed, so it seems like it should mostly remain out to sea. So it should be like those other storms that tried to form earlier, although some ensembles do try and take it towards the coast. Speaking of the Eastern Pacific, though, there is also another disturbance, potentially, that may try and develop that's off towards the southwest of Erick. It's just a cluster of thunderstorms right now, but it might try and meander towards Mexico. Really not seeing a lot of potential with this. More so just like tropical depression, tropical storm status, maybe. And even if it does that, it'd be pretty low end. It should just be mostly a just rainmaker disturbance. Now, transitioning over towards the Western Pacific, we have another potential disturbance that may try and develop near Japan, near the just north of the Northern Mariana Islands. American ensembles have been pretty confident on something developing there, so probably a low to moderate chance again of formation over the next maybe 5 days, maybe even less. Depends on how quickly it gets its act together. Will be a broad low that tries to form on the eastern side. And then also there's potential that something else could develop in the South China Sea. American ensembles are pretty keen on development there, having something developing within the next week. And that's more so just a low chance. If we look at the European ensembles, still not showing a lot for that. And then in the very long range, the American ensembles are, of course, showing that the Western Pacific may start to get a little bit more active. So something definitely to watch over the next up until like July-ish. And now time for our most threatening storm, Hurricane Erick, which has made landfall unofficially. Is that right, Sharkius? Has it made landfall officially at all, or no?
No, currently it has not been
Still
posted.
nothing.
I'm
Okay.
still looking for the update, but as of now, nothing.
Worth a shot to check. So it's likely made landfall as a major hurricane, and it is still moving inland. Here's a look at the latest frame, showing that it's likely probably almost 5 kilometers inland at this point, or it may be just hugging the coast, but it's pretty clear that it likely has made landfall. And it's likely a major hurricane, just under the Hurricane Center's estimate so far of 120 knots. It's likely around 100 to 105 knots would be my personal take on this. The animation that I'll make probably on Sunday will show the full estimate of its landfall intensity with its pressure. So about that, that's mostly it. With tropics here, the impacts of the storm will continue extending inland into the state of Guerrero. But right now it's around the border of those two provinces. Yeah, heavy rainfall is going to be expected. Thankfully, though, it should dissipate in the next day or so. Before then we focus on our next threats, which we shouldn't have a stream for hopefully over a week. And that's about it. Thank you, Sharkies, so much for attending the stream and being active for a huge chunk of it.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Yes.
thank you too for hosting the stream. We needed
course.
someone to cover this, and
Yes.
you're the guy for it.
Oh,
And thanks to you to everyone who was watching as well. It was great support for all of you. And yeah, I'm sorry we couldn't get that update from the NHC. I don't know what they're doing, but
Yep.
if you do want to look for it yourself, you can go
It should be posted
check their
on their
website. Just go search up that, or you can search up Tropical Weather Outlook and then go to the Pacific, and it should give you the most recent advisory on Erick.
Yes.
As of right now, nothing. So that's all I got.
So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll keep you covered on the next tropical cyclone threat across the world. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next update. Stay safe. Goodbye.